25,000 men and women work for the UK border. At home and abroad, their job is to seek out the lawbreakers and imposters who don't look like them. They are the UK. Tonight, stowaways get boxed in at Calais.
You're right there, gentlemen. Where are you from? Afghanistan.
Illegal workers with incredible stories.
You say you arrived last night on a lorry and you walk straight in here to a job and he says he's 15.
And a bad reaction to being stopped at Heathrow.
I've never been violated. My clothes have never been thrown out.
You're not going to calm down. I'll put it back in the holding room.
Now you're talking to me. I've been here since 11 o'clock.
Calais in northern France is the port most favoured by migrants trying to enter Britain. UK border agency officers work round the clock checking for clandestines, illegal immigrants stowing away in freight.
We will have a look.
They find
just to make
19,000 clandestines a year who have managed to slip past truck drivers and hide in their luggage.
You may get a penalty for bringing clandestines into the UK control zone. Before you come here, check your vehicle yourself.
The port is a pressure point, with an estimated 1,000 migrants waiting for their chance to get to Britain and living in a squatter camp they call the jungle. Here the clandestines swap information and plot their next attempt to cross the channel illegally. They play a cat and mouse game with the UK border agency. Part of a team starting the early shift are immigration officers Lee Harper and Jules Turner.
Clear the rear.
They know the tricks commonly used by clandestines.
A big seal.
They've stopped a lorry that looks like it's been tampered with and want the driver to open up.
Well, what he's done is just gone to take his padlock off, and as he's taking the padlock off, he's actually noticed that it's broken. So it could be an indication that someone's cut the padlock and glued it back together, basically, and gone through the side door. But we won't actually know until we open the door and go in ourselves.
Gonna open it.
The truck's load is yogurts, and inside it's as cold as a fridge.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You cold?
Yeah, you're cold.
Hello. Shoes on. Shoes.
Everybody?
Put your shoes on.
Oh, God. I'm getting yoghurt all over me. Okay, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sammy? Got 12.
12, all right.
12 people that we can see at the moment in the back of the lorry.
But there are more hiding in the corner at the back.
Tammy?
Yeah.
Can you make that 17?
17, okay.
Where are you from?
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan?
Yes.
All of you?
Only bro.
Okay.
One chance.
Not today, my friend.
For every clandestine found, the driver can face a penalty of £2,000, so it's in his interest to keep his vehicles secure.
Because I don't park outside on the street, I park inside on the services and pay the €7 for the parking.
Although the driver parked in a secure area, 17 Afghans managed to break into his truck, and it would appear an accomplice fixed the padlock from the outside.
I've used a pair of bolt cutters on it, and what it looks like they've done is just push it straight back in and maybe even glued it together so it looks like it's a whole padlock again.
For the clandestines, getting caught is an occupational hazard. Some will keep on having a go, however long it takes.
How many times have you tried?
1 year.
You've been here a year?
Yeah, 1 year. The jungle.
You stay in the jungle?
Yeah. Crazy.
Crazy?
Yeah, 1 year.
I think a lot of them have been through it before. We find the same people time and time again at the moment because obviously our controls are much stronger than they have been in a long time. So we are seeing the same faces. So they know the routine as well as we do.
For Failing to prevent 17 clandestines from breaching his truck's security, the driver was fined £1,700. The freight company was fined £2,500. Clandestines rarely carry travel documents and so avoid being removed from France. They are simply escorted from the port and are free to return to their makeshift camp. Despite living in appalling conditions, the clandestines believe the jungle is a better option than the countries they are fleeing.
My family is very poor, so I have 5 brothers and sisters, and my parents are old, they can't do jobs, so that's why I come here to Europe, so I can help them.
This man has travelled from Kashmir in search of a better life, and like all the clandestines, he imagines the UK is the place to find it.
If I go over there, I will marry. After marrying, I will get paper. After paper, I will get job. I will have a house, have a child, and have a family, and have a peaceful life.
But for those who do make it across the Channel, life in Britain can often fall short of the dream. Coming up, the enforcement team catch up with a clandestine repeat offender.
It doesn't justify you coming here for the second time illegally, does it? Why would you think that would be right?
And a case of deception at Heathrow.
You said that you met him 10 years ago in New York.
I did not say I met him 10 years ago in New York.
You said you met him 10 years ago in New York. I've got it written down here.
The UK Border Agency man all entry points into Britain to make sure only legitimate travellers get into the country. But some get through illegally, and many visitors stay longer than they should. It's estimated there are up to 1 million illegal immigrants living in the UK. Today in Stoke, an enforcement team led by immigration officer Phil Arthur is planning raids on car washes believed to be employing illegal workers.
This morning we're going to car washes, all very local to the office here. The first of which is Bubbles Hand Car Wash. When we enter, straight in, and it's going to be very dynamic, guys. We want to get right out of the vehicles and straight into them. Okay, thanks ladies and gentlemen, see you out there.
Enforcement teams around Britain have their work cut out keeping tabs on car washes. They are start-up businesses that can appear overnight and offer low-paid casual work, appealing to workers who are not entitled to be here.
Most city centres nowadays have quite a lot of these establishments. The problem is that at the end of the day, these people are either illegally in the UK and or illegally working in the UK.
It's usually Afghans, Iraqis, that's the sort of person we get working illegally. So we don't expect these people to be paid the minimum wage, don't expect any working time directives to be met by the employer. It's just a case of exploitation once again. It's trying to shut these places down.
A car wash is the kind of place clandestines who've beaten the Czechs at Calais can end up working. It can be a far cry from the life they hoped for in Britain.
Watch your feet, Carl, and they're slippy, mate.
Hello there, sir. How are you? We're from immigration.
Okay, we've got a warrant issued by the courts to be here this morning. We just need to establish your identity, nationality and status in the UK, all right?
There are 3 employees. If they have the right to work in the UK, they should be known to the Home Office.
Yeah. Okay, you come this way then. When were you born? Yes, Pakistan. Are you illegal or illegal in the UK? Legal. You have a visa?
Yeah. I am stay here in this country.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Checks against the database confirm this man has a British wife and is allowed to work, and that his Pakistani colleague has indefinite leave to remain in the UK. But the records relating to the third worker are less straightforward. He has a checkered history with the border force.
The last time you entered the UK, when was that?
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah.
About 1 month ago.
The man was caught living illegally in Britain 2 years ago. He opted for AVR, Assisted Voluntary Return, a European scheme that gave him a free flight home and £500 cash.
the AVR'd, a month later got married in Iraq to a British lady.
Okay.
He says he's come in a month ago again after voluntarily returning.
After the man was returned to Iran, he travelled to Iraq and married a British woman. He then came back to the UK, hidden in the back of a lorry.
How did he come in? Did he say he told us okay?
Yeah,
he came in illegally, even though he's married and he's...
Yeah, he apparently he's applied to come in legally and not been allowed.
Right.
So he's come in illegally.
So he's coming in illegally and he's living with his wife.
He's living with his wife in Silverdale.
Officer Sean Flaherty wants to know why the man took AVR, only to come back again as an illegal entrant.
We have laws for a reason. You apply for a visa, you're refused a visa, and then you completely decide to disregard UK law and enter the country illegally. Why would you think that would be right at all?
Nothing else I could do.
Well, stay in your country.
I would stay in my country. Just how about if my wife, she didn't stay with me? If she doesn't like it, the culture, she didn't like it, the religion, she didn't like it, the nothing, you know.
If your wife's got difficulties living there for whatever reasons, then that's between you and your wife. But it doesn't justify you coming here for the second time illegally, does it? If you're refused a visa, it means you're not being allowed to come into the United Kingdom. It doesn't mean, here's a green light, go and get in the back of a lorry and come in illegally. That's not the way it works.
I'm arresting you now as an illegal entrant to the UK. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention, when questioned, something you later rely on in court. Would you like to stand up for me? This gentleman's just going to give you a quick search.
Okay. He did return to Iran originally under the voluntary assisted removal programme. A majority of voluntary removals under that programme do get a financial assistance to reintegrate back in their own country. So he's had that, possibly. And then he comes back in illegally. I'm not going to get a refund, are we?
Hi. You the owner? I spoke to you on the phone. Yes. I'm Carl. I'm an immigration officer, okay?
If the owner of the car wash can't prove he's made the required checks on the man, he could be fined up to £10,000 for employment.
If you want, he's married with the English woman, right? She comes every day here to pick him up.
I fully understand that, sir, and I don't have a problem. That's exactly what he's told us.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that unless you should keep a record and you should keep a copy for yourself.
Yeah, but
so that if a situation like this arises, then you can show us some copies of your...
Yeah, but the thing is, sir, right, this is not a big business, right?
No,
no.
Absolutely, fully understand that. How long have you been working here, sir?
About 5-6 months.
So 5-6 months is a long time not to have a record, isn't it?
I wasn't here. Yeah, but the thing is, right, don't get me wrong. I've been brought up in this country, like, if I've got a national insurance number, right?
Sure. It actually says on the card now, so do be aware of that. It's not proof of identity. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
The owner of the car wash was fined £5,000 for employing an illegal worker. And even though the man admitted to coming twice into the UK illegally, he was later released. He remains on reporting conditions while the Home Office consider his case. But the day is young, and the team have another car wash in their sights. In Calais, hundreds of migrants gather near the port and live rough in the jungle, their camp in the woods outside town. In their eyes, it's the last stop before realizing their dream to cross the channel illegally and reach the UK. With 3,000 lorries passing through every day, there are plenty of opportunities to hitch an illicit ride. Chief Immigration Officer Tammy Richer and her team offer up a line of defence.
Some assistance on 4, please.
They check trucks waiting to board the ferries. They use carbon dioxide probes to detect clandestines breathing inside.
That's good.
Officer Richer gets word that colleagues have found some clandestines.
How many have you got? 7.
A high CO2 reading gave them away, hiding in a consignment of alcohol. Officer Darren Stamati is on hand to escort them off the load.
7.
clandestines at the moment, Afghanistans. Generally what happens, whenever we enter a load, they ask us if one chance to go to the UK. I don't know why they think that they're going to get that, but I think they just try it. They always seem to be in fairly good spirits, but that can change at any point because some of these people, you know, they can be fairly desperate to get to the UK.
Just two at a time.
Can I have you and you, please? Can you move out to the vehicle? So where do you live in Calais?
Out of the jungle.
Yeah?
Yes. Under the tree. You know a tree?
Under the tree?
Yeah.
In the jungle? Yeah. Two more? Okay. There's just this belief that in England, it's just a place they all seem to want to go to. They're not happy to stay here. They just want to go to England.
Yes.
Why do you want to go to England?
Because problem in Afghanistan, very big problem.
Right.
Yes, sir. Very.
So why England?
Because I want to get knowledge in England. This is
You want to get knowledge?
yes, study in England.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you think you can get knowledge in France?
Yes, sir. They are not allowed to stay here, stay here in France.
Okay.
The situation in France is not good, sir.
The belief is in England it's easy to stay for a longer period of time. There's work there, whereas in France, I think they have an understanding they don't get to remain in the country for too long. They're happy to sort of live rough and just try and make a play for the UK. Okay, my friends, go through, watch your head.
Yes.
Because 7 clandestines were found hiding in their load, the freight company was fined £2,800 and the driver £1,400. An average of 50 clandestines a day are stopped trying to cross the channel illegally at Calais. For as long as it remains difficult to deport them, the clandestines will keep returning to the jungle until their next attempt to get past the UK border agency. More than 10 million passengers a year arrive at Heathrow's Terminal 3. Most have a legitimate reason to come into the country.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
A few simple questions at passport control are usually enough to tell if a passenger's trying to hide something.
Two of you?
Officer Neil Newbury has been doing the job for 4 years and knows an unlikely story when he hears one. Today he stopped an American visitor who was flown in from New York via Toronto. The man says he's here for a 6-month holiday and to spend time with a friend.
We need to look into your reasons for coming to the UK in a little bit more detail. Okay, that's why you've been stopped today. All right. We're sitting up here on.
He has
on the
no
control,
job in the US
access to
and little
television,
money.
telephone.
So Officer Newbury suspects the real reason for his visit is to work.
Do you want to pop a couple of your bags up on the bench for the moment, please? Our passenger. He's 26 years old and he's only got about $450 on him. He decided to look like he's found all his clothes into 4 or 5 suitcases and come to the UK for a really long holiday with just a few $100s on him.
An American tourist is not allowed to work in Britain. Officer Newbury wants to know how the passenger will support himself for 6 months. He calls the passenger's sponsor, the friend he says he's here to stay with.
I need to understand, why are you offering to do all this for Jason? Okay, thanks for that, bye. He's known Jason only for a couple of years. He met in Germany while our sponsor was in the military over there. And Jason apparently was over there visiting friends. They met over there. They've stayed in touch for the last couple of years. The sponsor, he said he's quite happy to pay for everything, which isn't a problem, but I find it so strange that he's prepared to pay for everything for someone that he's known for just a couple of years.
Just news on that guy.
Jason?
Officer Newbury suspects he's not being told the whole truth. Now he wants to question the passenger about his financial dependence on the sponsor.
Are you happy for me to interview you?
No.
What's the problem?
I feel like I've been violated. I never felt
violated?
Like this in my life. Yes.
What have we done to violate you?
What?
What have we done to violate you?
First of all my clothes and stuff was taken out. Like
you never had your bag searched in a foreign country?
Not like that. my wallet. Everybody's been going through my wallet.
On this occasion, you're asking to spend a lot of time in this country, okay? And you don't have much money with you.
I wasn't. How do you know how much money I have in my account? My
I don't know.
money.
That's what
I told the lady.
That's what I'm going to start asking you now. So, are you happy for me to interview you?
No. But I'll answer the questions. I'm telling you that I'm not happy. But
I understand you're not happy, but are you prepared to be interviewed by me?
Yes, I'm prepared.
Okay, can you just tell me why you've come to the UK today?
You know, a lot of things been going on at home. I just lost my grandfather. I don't come from a good upbringing in my neighborhood. My friend's been killed and all of that. So I just want to take a vacation.
Where will you stay while you're in the UK?
With Will. He's a long-time friend of my family.
How long have you known Will?
So I've known him over 10 years.
Do you remember where you met him?
I met him in New York. That's where I'm from.
He's told us he's going to be supporting you for up to 6 months while you're in the UK.
Yeah.
Why does he have to support you?
I mean, whatever he's going to pay for, that's on him. But I got my own money.
Will also told me that he's only known you for about 2 years, not 10 years. And he met you in Germany in 2007. Now you've told me that you've known him for 10 years and you met in New York. So I'm a bit confused there as to...
I've known him for a while. I've known Will for a while.
10 years?
Maybe not 10 years, okay. Maybe not 10 years.
Where did you meet him?
In Germany.
You said you met him in New York.
I've met him in New York. He's been in New York before.
Yeah, that's not what I asked you. I asked you, where did you first meet him? You said in New York. He was in New York, I was in New York.
You're confusing me with the questions. You're asking me where did we meet. I'm telling you, I've met him in New York. I've also met him
You said that you met him 10 years ago in New York.
I did not say I met him 10 years ago in New York.
You said you met him 10 years ago in New York. I've got it written down here. That's one of the issues that we've got here. I'm trying to work out what these discrepancies are between yourself and this gentleman who's prepared to support you financially for the next 6 months.
I've been to Germany, I've been to Stockholm, I've been to different places, and I've never been violated. My clothes have never been thrown out. You put all my stuff out, then you told me to put all my stuff there. I'm waiting around. No one offered me anything until I got up in the room over there. No one's talking to me, no one's telling me nothing.
I'm talking to you now.
Now you're talking to me. I've been here since 11 o'clock.
You're not going to calm down. I'll put you back in the holding room. I need to confirm the discrepancies between yourself and Will, okay? That's the issue. One of the issues here.
All right, I don't know Will for 10 years. I've only known him for a short period of time, for a couple of years. That's it.
You say you met in Germany?
Yes.
He's lying to me, you know. And when I caught him out, you know, that's when he started kicking off a little bit. If I was to act like that in America, the way he's been acting with me, you know, I won't get treated half as well as he's been treated since he arrived. Yeah. And Damage quite appreciates that, to be honest. So he can throw his arms around as much as he wants, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Coming up, another car wash in Stoke, where the truth is a grey area.
Ask your friend to confirm how old he is.
15.
What?
15 years old, with grey hair.
And the Bangladeshi graduate with little to show for 6 years of studying.
Business work. That's a module in a postgraduate diploma is called business work.
At Heathrow, the American who's arrived for a 6-month holiday is waiting to hear if he'll be allowed into the UK. The passenger and his sponsor are telling two very different stories. Officer Newbury updates his boss, Sarah Dyson.
Now, there's big discrepancies about how long these two have known each other, where they met, okay? He believes Will is still in the military, but the sponsor hasn't been in the military for over a year.
They hardly know anything about
each other. They don't know. He's estimated £3,500 to support our passenger for the next 6 months.
Don't believe a word.
No, I think he's telling me what he thinks I want to hear to land this passenger.
What I really am more interested in is his current domestic and financial circs in USA.
He did admit to me it's very hard to get a job in America at the moment, even with someone with a college degree.
The more accurate way of putting it is that he's currently unemployed without any fixed employment in the US. Okay, and he's not intending to work in the near future in the US because he's taken a plane here for 6 months. And I think we should give him one more opportunity to be straight. I want you to ask him for a straightforward explanation as to why they two of them cannot agree on how long they've known each other and where they met. And then come back and we'll make a final decision.
Okay, follow me for a second. Just sit in the corner for me, okay? If it's possible, can you explain the discrepancies between what you're telling us and what Will's been telling us?
Because everything was just like, yo, I'm gonna come out there, blase, whatever. I didn't know that I was gonna be interrogated like this.
Yeah, but it's things like how long you've known each other and where you first met. You should know that kind of stuff if you know someone.
I made it seem like I knew him longer than what, but I know Will. Like, come on, man. Like, this is like, why would I take a flight to another country with a dude that I don't even know?
Well, that's the question that we've been asking, yeah?
Yeah, but I'm a grown man. I can make my own decisions. Like,
that's fine, but
like I know Will. I don't know him 10 years, but I know Will.
We have to go by what people tell us. When people tell us different things, makes us question everything that they're telling us. That's the issue here, okay?
Yes.
Okay. He said he was exaggerating. I said, why? I didn't think I'd be asked.
I don't think it's just this one discrepancy that concerns me, but it's this passenger's entire domestic circumstances. There is no doubt in my mind, I am satisfied that had he thought he could, he would have come here to find a job, and that was his primary intention in travelling to the UK. I don't consider him to be a visitor to this country or a tourist. I think you're going to need to refuse him entry.
Yep. Okay, Jason, you want to come out a second, please? Just stand here a second for me, okay? Well, I spoke to Chief Immigration Officer. I've told them what you've told me, and they've decided that on the evidence that we've got from you today and from Will today, you're going to be refused entry. Okay? So we're going to have to return you back to the US on the next available flight via Toronto. The next flight isn't until tomorrow at midday. Okay? Got to go through with Air Canada.
This is crazy.
Okay?
This is crazy, man.
So what we're going to do, we're going to get somewhere for you to get some shut-eye. Okay? You're not going to stay here overnight. We'll do whatever we can to get you somewhere a bit more comfortable. Wow, that's a relief.
The passenger was held in a detention centre overnight and put on a flight home the next day.
All right.
In Stoke, the enforcement team are going after illegal workers.
Okay guys, 30 seconds and we'll be there.
They've already made one arrest. Now they're about to surprise the employees of a second car.
Yeah, no worries. Morning. Alright, with immigration and police, we've got a warrant to search these premises. Just need to get everybody's identity, nationality, and see where we go from there. Alright, mate? Okay, guys, come this way.
The team round up the workers and use 2 rooms in the office to question them about their immigration status.
Okay, who have we got here then? Come on, you speak English, lads? No? Any English at all? Pushtu. Okay.
One employee can speak English and he's happy to interpret his colleagues' incredible claims.
What's your date of birth?
He says, I don't know the day, but he's saying I'm 15 or something, he's 15, 16, something like that.
50?
No, 50, 15.
50?
15, 1-5.
What?
He says that.
Alright then. Can you ask him what country he's born in?
He's from Afghanistan.
Can you ask your friend again to confirm how old he is?
He says 15.
15 years old?
Yeah.
With grey hair?
With grey hair.
Can you just ask him his address for me?
He said, I've just come last night.
Can you just ask him how he got here to the UK?
He says, I've just come from Calais from here and the lorry.
In a lorry?
Next door,
I'm starting
another
to get somewhere
Afghani
now.
worker
Ishmael.
is being checked out.
Can you just ask the lad if
Sorry?
what's his date of birth?
And it appears a common theme is emerging.
He says I'm 15.
15?
Yeah.
When did he arrive in the UK?
He says I'm coming last night.
And you say you arrived last night on a lorry, and you walked straight in here to a job first thing this morning. We've struggled to get a Pashto interpreter, so we've using the gentleman here who's been very helpful. We're speaking to this lad here, but he claims to have arrived here last night in the early hours of the morning on a lorry from France, and he says he's 15.
Me?
I'm arresting you on suspicion of entering the UK without leave. You don't have to say anything, but you may harm your defence. If you don't mention, when questioned, something which you later on in court.
You are now, Ismail, you are now under arrest.
Both men claiming to be 15 are arrested as they've admitted entering the country illegally. As they're claiming to be children, their ages will have to be assessed by the social services.
Just take that as written.
One of the remaining workers is a Pakistani national who is here on a student visa. However, he admits he is not doing any studying at all.
Claims he's only started working here today, so he's working but not studying.
Will this one do?
And he gets paid £15 a day.
Yes, he will.
That's for 10 hours.
Despite seeking refuge in their own communities, illegal immigrants can find life in Britain very different from the dream. And for those who believe they've beaten the system, reality can hit at any time with the arrival of an enforcement team.
I'm going to arrest you now. He's not illegal entry to the UK. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. You do not mention when questioned something you later around in court.
The Afghani who's been so helpful acting as an interpreter is a failed asylum seeker and should have left the UK. Now he faces the reality of going home.
I live long time in this country, no crime, nothing. But I can't live in Afghanistan now because if you saw me, my brain is already from here, not from Afghanistan. You see the.
I understand that, but you know when you're here illegally, there's always a chance that you'll be sent
I know
back.
I'm legal.
I appreciate what you're saying, but there's nothing I can say is going to help me now, is it?
I do nothing. I just work, sleep, home. That's it. You know.
Morning's still young, really. I mean, there were 5 employees there, and we've taken 4 out. This guy who owns this place looking at, upwards of £40,000 in penalties, which is a considerable amount. Yeah, I'm quite satisfied actually. 5 out of a morning's work. Happy.
Okay guys, let's go.
The Afghani worker who helped to interpret won himself a reprieve. He put in a fresh application and was given permission to live in the UK. The student who was working instead of studying was detained and removed back to Pakistan. The 2 Afghani men claiming to be 15 were assessed to be over 18. One was detained and removed from the UK, but as the other had no travel documents, he was released on bail and has since absconded. The owner was fined £20,000. But targeting the people who make the serious money out of illegal working is not so easy.
The people who we encounter, they won't give us the names of the agents, they won't tell us the routes they come in, because they're more scared of the agents than they are of us. But these people don't see that they're being used and they're actually victims in all of this. Because they're being exploited, they've been paid peanuts, they've paid thousands of pounds to come to the UK. Unfortunately, very rarely we get them to speak to us and to give us better information so we can get to the heads of these organisations instead of just cherry picking these guys off all the time.
At Heathrow, a Bangladeshi man has been stopped at passport control after flying in with his new wife.
If you can just break down your colleges for me. So in 2003,
he has been living in the UK as a student for the last 6 years, attending 4 different colleges. But 3 of the 4 colleges are now known by the UK Border Agency to be bogus. Before his colleges were exposed as fake, the passenger got a place on the International Graduate Scheme, which allows him to work.
Has my colleague explained the situation and the reasons that we've detained you?
Officer Tim Weatherall takes on the case.
The problem that we have.
He wants to find out if the man's qualifications are genuine.
He's aware he's in a bit of trouble, hence why we've stopped him. I would imagine that from the point of view as them as a couple, they're probably quite worried about the fact they're going to be separated, but you know, if she qualifies for entry, she will be allowed to proceed.
There's a lot at stake for the couple. The wife is eligible to enter the
video,
UK.
Is it, yeah?
She is American, and this is her first time here.
Just head round this way.
And she doesn't want to be without her new husband.
At the moment, if you wish to stay in here together, you can, or you can either proceed downstairs or you can wait outside. Okay, but I'm going to let you know now, if it's the case that you are refused entry, after we've done our investigations, you won't have a choice, okay? You will be landed and you will be refused, so you won't be able to stay together. I would suggest that you prepare for the worst case scenario, if that is appropriate, and then you work out what you're going to do. Because at the end of the day, that's your decision, yeah?
The newlyweds will only come into Britain together if the husband can prove he's a genuine graduate. But it will take some convincing. Officer Weatherall has a thick file of evidence against the college that issued his qualifications.
We've encountered so many students from this particular college, and you know, at the end of the day, most of them have just admitted that they've never actually studied there at all. They've never gone to any classes. Some of them haven't actually ever been to the college. They just paid the money to get the certificate to get an extension of stay in the UK. Well, I've yet to encounter personally a student who has actually been to the college and studied there. He may be the first, you never know, stranger things have happened, but I'm not holding out much hope in this case. I'm just going to go through and interview you now, okay? So just follow me through this way. Just head in there, grab a seat on the far side. We haven't just stopped you on a hunch here. As I explained to you, we've got a lot of information about yourself and about the college and about the types of course that were on it, okay? And did you actually attend the Westminster College of Computing 4 days a week?
Yeah.
So how many modules did you take then?
I think 4.
What were they all called?
One is business work.
Business work.
Yeah.
That's a module in a postgraduate diploma is called business work.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
I can't remember.
So you can remember one of your 4 modules.
I can't remember.
Did you take exams? And I'm guessing you can probably only remember 1 or 2. You can't remember anything? Not even the ones that you mentioned before?
No.
This is a 45-page document, yeah? I've got 45 pages there which prove to me that any degree that obtained from Westminster College of Computing is completely bogus. You need to start being very honest with me, or you're going to have a much bigger problem than you do now. You haven't, sir. I don't believe you.
I swear to God.
The fact is, looking back through the colleges you've studied at, all of them are known to immigration for being problem colleges. So I have real issues with the fact that you've ever studied here at all.
I've done some computer course as well.
Here or?
Oh yeah.
When were they?
That was in Stratford, I think.
College. Another college that's been closed down for issuing bogus certificates.
Is it?
Yeah. It's not looking good for you, is it?
Coming up, clandestines up their game in Calais.
They've taken the slats from the side of the lorry and then repositioned the boxes back across the top of themselves.
And the newlyweds face an early separation at Heathrow.
I'm not happy with you. You will be detained by immigration until we get to the bottom of it, okay?
At Terminal 3, it's not looking good for the newlyweds who hope to enter Britain together. The husband, a serial student of bogus colleges, has said nothing in interview to convince Officer Weatherall he's a genuine graduate.
We're happy with your wife, she's going to be allowed through. She's not going to be allowed to stay with you. I'm not happy with you, you will be detained by immigration until we get to the bottom of it, okay? So you need to decide where she's going to go. That's your problem, not mine, okay?
Before deciding the passenger's fate, Officer Weatherall must refer the case to his Chief Immigration Officer, Mo Ghaffar.
Basically, I don't believe a word he's saying. Yeah, I mean, bottom line, I think he's lying through his teeth. I don't believe a word he's told me.
I think we've got substantial information in relation to the fact that he studied at an institution that has closed down. We'll land his wife, and then we'll go from there. All right, Timothy, thanks, thank you.
Okay, right, I spoke to my chief immigration officer. Your wife we're happy to allow to proceed. She's going to be landed, she's been granted leave to enter. With regards to yourself, the decision's been taken by myself and the chief immigration officer to refuse you entry into the UK today, okay, and to cancel your UK residence permit. You have the right to appeal in country, or you have the right to appeal from Bangladesh. That choice is up to you.
The husband chooses to appeal from the UK. This usually means being held in a detention centre while the appeal is considered, but there are exceptions.
Considering that he has his wife with him, it seems only reasonable to give him temporary admission. I don't consider him to be an absconder at this stage, and if he wishes to fight his case, then let him take his chances in court. She probably doesn't even know what the husband's been up to in the United Kingdom. She didn't expect to be stopped at immigration control and then be asked questions by an immigration officer as to why she was coming to the UK. If I was the wife of this particular passenger, I'd be pretty upset. I'd be asking my husband, what have you been doing?
The husband is granted temporary admission, but he loses his appeal and is put on a flight back to Bangladesh. In Calais, the trucks keep on coming. They bring 20 million tons of freight through the port every year. Rich pickings for migrants intent on getting into the UK illegally. Not every truck can be searched, and no one knows how many clandestines make it across the channel. But 19,000 a year get caught at the Calais checkpoints. With so many failing, they look for ever more ingenious methods of concealment. And the search teams have to get wise to them.
We've come in the lorry, and as you can see, there's a flat load in here. Obviously, there's a distinct smell of clandestines. So we just had a quick look on further inspection. Underneath the boxes here, you'll just see that we've got a purpose-built hide. Probably the illegals have made themselves. They've taken the slats from the side of the lorry and then obviously repositioned the boxes back across the top of themselves. All right there, gentlemen. Where are you from? Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran? Afghanistan. Speak English? No, speak English. You speak a little bit, don't you? Yeah, which one of you speaks English? Gentlemen, hello? Take your hoods down.
Okay, what we've actually got in there is officers went in, the load is flat, but there's a strong smell that we tend to get with the clandestines.
As soon as we undid the back door, you get the smell of the illegals. It's an unwashed bonfire smell. These people have been living rough for months, so you know you generally get that nasty odour. But yeah, it's always the giveaway. Someone's smoking.
Put it out.
Put that out. Wherever you're smoking, put that out. Wait,
put it out.
Whoever that is, put that out. Come on, first one.
You stay here.
Chef, out you come on, mate.
Come on, out.
There are 6 clandestines, all from Afghanistan. It looks like some of them are trying to get to Britain on a regular, perhaps even daily basis.
I think he was one of our 17 yesterday, Tam. Tam, yeah. The next one coming out? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, he was. The last clandestine that's just come out was one that we detected in a find of 17 in the yoghurt lorry yesterday. He's got yoghurt on the back of his coat and his trousers.
Okay, give me a foot. Good foot. Take a good one. And away you go.
We see the same clandestines regularly. Not every day, but we might see them over a week or 2 week period. We might see them 2 or 3 times. At the moment we're seeing people and they're telling us that they've been living in the jungle for anything up to a year at the moment. They're still here, we're still finding them, so we will see the same people time and time again.
Fines served on the freight company and driver add up to more than £6,000. But the clandestines are yet again free to leave the port and return to the jungle. And as the search teams can't check every truck, and with clandestines trying their luck every day, there'll always be some who slip through the net and enter Britain illegally. Britain's borders are protected by 25,000 men and women. At home and abroad, their job is to seek out the lawbreakers and imposters who don't have a right to be here. They are the UK Border Force. Tonight, a couple who didn't exist.
I've lied all the time and I don't want to, to carry this burden of lying all the time.
An illegal worker is caught on camera.
Red t-shirt, gentleman working with red t-shirt, that's you, serving a customer.
And a student is given a lecture at Heathrow.
You've got documents by deception. How you got them, I don't know. All right, so stop messing about, because this is ridiculous.
Rising immigration in rural Britain has brought an increase in illegal workers. In Wales, enforcement teams search the valleys for immigration offenders. Today, Officer Whitmarsh Knight is en route to a Chinese takeaway suspected of employing illegal workers.
Am I going to have any runners out the back? And then hopefully when we get in there, there'll be some people we can actually remove out of it.
As two of the team enter from the front, Officer Whitmarsh Knight covers the rear.
Up here we go. Hey! Right, trying to run. They're trying to run. They're trying to run. Right.
Two men are stopped, trying to escape out of the back.
Can you turn all off, please, for me? Run around there.
And there are more in the kitchen. Along with the boss, 5 people are found on the premises.
Do you speak English? No. Do you speak English? No. Oh, don't speak any English, they say.
As Officer Whitmarsh Knight questions one of the runners using an interpreter on the phone, Officer Collins goes upstairs.
Hello? Just you in here, is it, mate? Is anyone else up here? Adult? Mum? Dad?
Mum and Dad?
Yeah? Downstairs. Okay. Heidi, we've got 2 up here, 2 children.
While 2 young children have been found upstairs, Officer Whitmarsh Knight has found out why this man was so keen to get away.
He's claiming that he arrived here illegally in 2003, that he came to Sunny Riska for fun, and he's only been here a couple of days.
But he's registered with a dentist.
There we are, register with a dentist, which you do when you're on holiday.
He admits entering Britain illegally. He is now arrested. As officers search for documents relating to the man they just arrested, they find an asylum registration card that belongs to the second man who tried to run.
That's Immigration Nationality Application Registration Card.
These cards are given to asylum seekers. They store fingerprints and state if they're allowed to work.
But it actually says employment prohibited there, and even bigger at the back. It means that he's in the system. We have checked, and he is a failed asylum seeker. He's absconded.
You? Working? Yeah? Is that downstairs? No? Busy boy then?
All his appeal rights are exhausted, and he has since disappeared off the screen. So we're looking to take him into the police station so we can get the travel document application up and running for him as well.
Officer Nick Juck interviews the father of the child found upstairs.
Is it the 2 children upstairs your children?
No, 1 child.
1 child. Is that the boy or the girl?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, is it? Okay.
After you.
He finds a passport that shows he's in Britain legally via Ireland.
Irish. Ireland has sort of different set of immigration rules, and sometimes it is easier for foreign nationals to get Irish citizenship. If a child is born in Ireland, then it automatically qualifies for Irish citizenship. Then they're obviously allowed to stay in the UK as well because it's part of the European Union. So as far as I'm concerned, this family is fine.
2 out of 3 employees are not allowed to work. But there is still one more to be interviewed. Officers will have to find out who she is and why she's here. Coming up, the extraordinary case of stolen identity.
Well, I have no other identity than that, sorry.
Who's Rajendra Naidu? Let us come here for you. Why was payslips here?
And amnesia at Heathrow.
You've forgotten where you got your certificates from, haven't you?
No, I
Yeah.
in college.
How do you get a certificate from a college you don't attend?
The Criminal Investigations team at Croydon deal with serious immigration crime. Officer Tina Leonette investigates cases of identity fraud. Just over a year ago, UK Border Agency took a call from a woman in America. She said that she and her brother had been victims of identity theft by a man and woman living as a married couple in Britain.
I'm just conscious. So basically we've got these two people who have stolen the identities of a brother and sister. They're pretending to be brother and sister for benefit claims, but they're actually, if not husband and wife, they're certainly partners.
Today, Tina's team prepare to visit the couple's home address for the first time. It's a big day. Tina has been working on this case for 6 months, a case that also involves serious benefit fraud.
So I've got an overpayment roughly about in excess of £100,000.
That's right, yeah. They've been claiming benefits since 2002. It will total over 100,000.
The real person left the UK in 1984. She went to the States to get married, and she's not been back since.
The woman they're looking for is suspected of stealing the identity of someone called Savitri Naidu. If she answers to this name, she'll be arrested. Living at the same address is the woman's partner, who uses the name Rajendra Naidu. According to Home Office records, his real name is Mark Singh.
Well, what we're looking for is evidence of who these people really are, how long they've lived in the UK, what documents they've got. They've been here a long time. They must have, they've established a life. So we need to find out exactly what they've been doing and how.
Hi, mate. Hello, sir. UK Border Agency. Can you come in and speak to you? Is that all right? Yeah. Can you come in, please? Thank you. What's your name, sir? Mr. Singh. Mr. Singh. We've got a living room we can come and speak to you in, sir.
What's your first name, Mr. Singh?
Mark Anthony.
Mark Anthony. Do you want to have a seat, please?
The man has identified himself as the target, Mark Singh.
What's your name, madam, please?
Naidu.
Naidu. Okay. Savitri.
Viren Naidu.
And the woman says she is Savitri Naidu, but the team believes this name belongs to someone else.
And what nationality are you?
Well, Guyanese, well, British as well.
Okay, the reason why we're here is that we have information that you have possibly assumed the identity of somebody else, and that Savitri Naidu isn't your real identity. Okay? I'm therefore arresting you on suspicion of illegal entry, obtaining a pecuniary advantage by deception, and obtaining property by deception. Do you understand why you're under arrest?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, just explain that we think you've taken the identity of somebody else.
Well, I have no other identity than that, sorry.
Okay, right, well, we need to talk to you about it at the police station, and you can therefore explain your version of events, alright?
The woman is sticking to her story. Officers must now search for evidence to prove her real identity.
It's a money order. She's obviously sent home. It's got this address with a different name on.
It's got the name Kamali.
Which is similar to the name that we thought she really was.
That's possibly who she really is. So that's quite good evidence already.
As the woman's story begins to unravel, Officer Burkham finds some pay slips that may relate to her partner.
There's a payslip here addressed to Mr. R.V. Naidu, so clearly he's been working at the hospital using that identity. You know, the sort of document you'd expect to find lying around the house of somebody who's using an identity. Is it Mr. Singh? Yeah. Who's Rajendra Naidu?
He lives at
London Road there.
So why do you have all these documents in your house then?
And I used to come here.
Sorry?
He used to be here also.
He used to be here. So why are his documents all still here then?
Let us come here for him.
Why are his payslips here?
I have to say the truth, yeah. I have to tell you the truth. Let's go to the police station. I will tell you the truth what happened. Yeah. I want to be honest on how.
You're using that name, aren't you?
Yes, I am using it.
You are? Okay, fine. Alright, sir, no problem. We found some documents addressed to a guy called Rajendra Naidu, and Tina mentioned at the briefing that that she thought it's an identity that this gentleman has been using. So I just asked him about the documents, and he admitted that he is using them. So we think he's going to be arrested for those offences as well.
The man confesses. He's been working at a hospital canteen for 5 years under a false name.
All right, okay.
Yeah, that's mine.
And amongst the haul of documents, officers believe they've just found the woman's real passport.
This is a good find. In these cases, it's always very hard to find out who the real person is. Passport says Kamini Sukram, born 23rd of February 1964, Guyanese. Looks like she's been here since 1995, when she was given 6 months entry as a visitor, and doesn't appear to have had a stay extended since then. So she's obviously assumed the ID we've arrested her under sometime after 1995.
Kamini Sukram came to Britain on a 6-month visit visa from Guyana, South America. She's been here for 14 years using someone else's name. With this stolen identity, she's claimed just over £100,000 in state benefits and even managed to become a British citizen. She's kept quiet so far, but with a house full of documents revealing 14 years of deception, it's not long before the truth comes out.
We're not here to tell lies, are we? It's just, you tell the truth and that's it, finish with. I've lied all the time and I don't want to, to carry this burden of lying all the time.
It is a relief to let the judge know the truth, and as I said, I want the truth to let the truth be known.
Each year, Britain welcomes 200,000 foreign students who come here to study. Most are genuine, but some students use college documents to enter Britain even though they have no intention of studying. Today, Officer Lisa Lee has stopped a student who tells her he's coming back to Britain to continue his studies at a college in London.
On arrival, he was very vague about what he studied, didn't know very much about his subject area, which is IT. So what's a URL, what does HTTP stand for? He didn't have a clue. Now, clearly, he's been studying IT for almost 3 years. He should have a better idea of what's going on than that.
He appears to know little about his course, and Officer Lee suspects he's not been studying at all. The passenger says he's a student at Churchill College in London.
All right. Do you want to just grab your hand luggage and we'll go down and get your other bag? Okay. All right.
A bag search gives a chance to find evidence that can back up suspicions about a passenger's reasons for coming to Britain.
You studied a diploma in IT, yeah? But you don't know what URL is or HTTP? All right, you never mentioned this college to me before. I did. No, you didn't. You've forgotten where you've got your certificates from, haven't you? Yeah.
College.
You didn't tell me about this college, sir. I specifically asked you and you didn't mention it.
Officer Lee has found some college certificates from a different college to the one where he says he studies.
You didn't tell me you went to the College of Professional and Management Studies. I told you before. You did not, sir. You said you enrolled in October 2007 at this college. This says you were studying somewhere else at the time. I wrote it down. So how'd you get a certificate from a college you don't attend? Wish my university had been like that. We're going back upstairs, and then I'm going to interview you properly. You're not going to talk to me now? No? Fair enough. If you don't want to answer my questions, we can send you back to India without answering my questions, okay? If you don't answer, we can refuse you entry. Failure to cooperate with an immigration officer, yeah? He had some documents with him, some certificates from a college he's not mentioned at all to me on arrival. I specifically went through his study history in the UK, and he said he studied at one place for a year and then transferred to the college he claims to be studying at now. And he's got a totally different diploma from a different college that we've not come across before, so how did he get that?
Officer Lee phones the college where the passenger says he's currently studying.
Oh, hello, sir. It's Officer Lee from Immigration. What was his attendance at your college? Really? So why does he know nothing about his course then? So he was attending when? Right, from October 2007. All right then, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye. The current college he claims to be at is maintaining he has a very high percentage of attendance.
The college supports his story, but Officer Lee wants to know more about the certificates she found in his bag from a different college.
Okay, this college, the number is no longer in operation. So I will do a quick check online and see if I can get anything else for them. Well, it still has a website. Okay, I've just checked the Department for Innovation, University and Skills Register, which colleges have to be on if students are to be given their visas or extensions of stay. The college that he got this letter from is no longer on it, if indeed it ever was. So the phone number's not working, the college isn't on the register, but they do still have a website. But their latest news is actually from May 2007, so chances are it's closed down. So he's attending 2 colleges virtually the whole time to do the same course. He can't have been in 2 places at once.
The passenger appears to have been studying at 2 colleges at the same time. Someone's not telling the truth. Officer Lee wants to find out what he's been up to since he was given a student visa 3 years ago.
He's not a student here, I can just feel it. I just know from experience that he's not studying here, but we have to have concrete evidence that we can use to overturn his visa. That's what I'm going to go and get.
At a Chinese takeaway in South Wales, 2 out of 5 workers have been arrested after trying to escape the enforcement team. The manager who employed them has been a British citizen for over 20 years.
You got naturalised in the 80s.
He decides to help Officer Collins question the remaining workers.
You're a boss, you're an employer. Do you have any documents to say that you can work here? Just so you can... You haven't got a copy. What's her immigration status?
Well, she was asylum seeker.
She's an asylum seeker, so she's claimed asylum.
Yeah.
What's the outcome of that asylum claim?
She's allowed to work.
Allowed to work. So she's got asylum, has she? She's been granted asylum, refugee status. When was it granted?
1996.
She was granted in 1996.
That's when
she made a claim. So she claimed in 1996. But when was it granted?
She's still waiting from her solicitor.
She's waiting for the solicitor, but she hasn't been granted yet then, has she? So you told me that she was allowed to work, so you've seen documentation saying she hasn't worked, but you can't have. She's just said she hasn't been granted.
Although she's told her manager she's an asylum seeker, he still believes he's seen paperwork that proves she can work. Some asylum seekers are given permission to work by UK border agency.
Thank you.
He'll need to find the documents to prove this, or could face a £10,000 fine.
Occasionally, very rarely, we give permission to work. So he's looking for a document to confirm that now. He's the one who's been responsible for hiring all 3. Have you seen a passport for any of them, Mr. Trim, no?
No.
Well, he's got a fair few documents down there, so with a bit of luck there'll be something in there that will help us. So it's not there?
Not there, no. I thought I had it.
Okay.
It's not there.
He can't find the documents he needs. And next door, all that turns up is a driving licence.
All right, that's fine. Like you said, we'll take this down and then we'll just confirm your details, okay?
Downstairs, Officer Collins checks the woman's details on the Home Office database. Her immigration
Yeah, I think
history
that's-
is
I mean, that's
extensive.
about it, isn't
She's
it?
had
There's
3
nothing much we can do. I
applications
mean,
to stay in Britain
it's got 2
since
children upstairs, so we're gonna do
1996.
lots of stuff,
They've
but
all
thanks a
been
lot for that.
refused.
I might need to call
She
you
now
back
has
in
a
a second. I'll
4th
just go consult
application
with
in
my
the
CA.
system for
Thanks,
her
mate. Cheers, mate.
and her child. Until she gets a decision, she's not supposed to work and must report to the local police station every month.
Driving license upstairs.
She can't work then?
No. We can't find anything to say that she can work. She's got a report. She's got to check in with this immigration and let us know where she is at all times, okay? So what I'm going to do is set her up a report. I'm not going to arrest her, put her in custody. There's a child upstairs and everything else, okay? It's imperative she does that, okay? That way she can start getting some money, because obviously she can't work here again at this point, because obviously 1996, she's been here quite a long time, and if we can get this sorted for her, better for her, okay? And obviously the child.
The manager of the takeaway is fined £20,000 for employing 3 illegal workers.
It seems that apparently what I'm doing is illegal, it's not right, so I have to wait now.
The 2 kitchen workers who tried to escape are taken to a local police station. After further questioning, they were released and asked to report to the police station twice a week. So far, they are complying. Coming up, the plot thickens in the case of stolen identity, and yet another stolen name is found.
Mark, who's Indra Mohan?
And it's rise and shine in Wales.
Hello, mate. Immigration Service. Got a warrant to enter the premises. Do you want to get yourself up, please?
In South London, the criminal investigations team have arrested a couple from Guyana, South America. For the last 14 years, they've been using stolen identities to live in Britain.
They have used an identity that's not theirs to claim benefits, and they've received thousands of pounds from the public purse.
They've claimed just over £100,000 in benefits as brother and sister. In reality, they're living together as a married couple. Searching through stacks of documents has revealed this woman's real name is Kamini Sukram. Now the team want evidence to prove the identity of her partner. He was living here using a stolen name, Rajendra Naidu, whilst he was registered with the Home Office as Mark Singh. And just now, they found a bank statement with yet another name, Indra Mohan.
So who's Indra Kumar Mohan then? Who is he to you then? Because the account's in that name and your name, it's a joint account. Indra Kumar Mohan or Kamini Sukram, which is your real name. So who is this guy?
He was like a friend.
Was he an ex-boyfriend or something, or what?
Hey?
Is he an ex-boyfriend?
Yeah.
He's an ex-boyfriend.
You tell us where they are. Everything. Alright. Do you know how much is in it at the moment?
We just found a Guyanese bank statement which had her real name on it and the name of somebody else, Indra Mohan. I suspected that might have been Mark Singh's other real identity, but she said it was some ex-boyfriend in Guyana.
Mark, who's Indra Mohan?
That's her partner.
Okay.
The couple both claim that Indra Mohan is the woman's partner. Officers have found an identity card which could clear up the confusion.
Do you know Mr. Mohan?
When he's done, I'll bring it down to you.
No.
You don't know Mr. Mohan? That's strange. That's a picture of Mr. Mohan. That was a Guyana identity card in the name of Indra Mohan, which had Mr. Singh's photograph on it.
With his true identity revealed, a relieved Indra Mohan now wants to come clean.
We were like in prison in here. We cannot go anywhere. I can't go for a holiday nowhere. I can't see my mom who just had heart bypass in New York. I can't even go to see her, and so I'm happy. If I'm going home, I'm happy. I'm just sad enough. I fed up. I was expecting this to come more far more earlier, but at this time.
The confessions continue. Now it's the turn of his partner.
What started all this was as soon as I landed here, then I got pregnant.
vicious thing that happened when he was 3-4 years old.
That's what
So he could have grew up in.
where the lie started.
After 14 years in hiding, this couple has finally been caught up.
Sit in the front, put a seatbelt on from here.
But it's a familiar story for the investigations team.
Identity hijacking is not uncommon. It's rife, really, particularly for people that are desperate to stay in the UK. They'll do anything.
Identity fraud of one sort or the other costs the taxpayer £1.2 billion every year. While fingerprints and photographs are taken at Croydon Police Station, Officer Leonette has made another discovery about the man's real identity.
When we were at the address today, we found an identity in the name of Indra Mohan. We made checks with the Home Office, and it appears that this person arrived in the UK in 1990. There's allegations of domestic violence, and he was either deported or removed in 1991. He wouldn't therefore be allowed to come back in that identity. Hence, that's why he's acquired another identity of Mark Singh.
He left Britain as Indra Mohan and came back illegally as Mark Singh. He then applied to stay in the UK indefinitely using this name.
They've lied to everybody. They knew this was coming, so they'll just have to take the consequences.
The couple from Guyana were remanded in custody. They later pleaded guilty to deception and benefit fraud. They were each sentenced to 8 months in prison. Still held at immigration control is the returning student from India. Officer Lee wants to know why his documents show he studies in 2 places at once.
Just follow me, sir.
But this student can't even remember the name of the college his certificates are from.
Take a seat. You don't know the name of the college where you studied for a whole year?
Not whole year, 6 months.
6 months? You sure? So how long did you study at the second college was my question.
I think 8 months or something.
What subjects did you study?
Oh, first year.
For your 8 months at the second college, whose name you can't remember, what subjects did you study?
Can't remember.
You can't tell me what the name of the college was or what you studied while you were there?
Cool.
You've forgotten?
I've got all my documents, you can check that.
Well, I'm asking you, sir, because the only way I can be sure that you've studied here is if you tell me, and you can't tell me anything.
Yeah, because I told you my memory is not so sharp.
That's not an excuse. I know why you can't remember the second one, because you never went there. When did you enrol at Churchill College?
October, I think.
October what year?
2007.
So why then do you have letters from the other college, the second college, saying you were also enrolled at their college at the same time?
What time?
The same time you say you've been studying at Churchill College?
No.
Yes, sir.
Can I have a look?
No, because that will give you the name of the college. One of them's wrong. I have a problem with the fact that you've got documentation in your bags which tells me that you were studying in 2 places at once. You may disagree with me, that's what the documents say. This leads me to believe that you've been less than honest with me so far today.
Listen, this is true.
Don't tell me to listen.
Okay.
I've got the documents. You can't remember what's on there because you never went there. That's why you don't know the name of the college. You've got documents by deception. How you got them, I don't know. All right, so stop messing about because this is ridiculous. Saying you can't remember the name of somewhere you claim to have studied at for 8 months. It's ludicrous. Ludicrous.
Need some time to think.
I can sit here and wait, it's fine. Tell me all the lecturers' names.
Can't remember.
Tell me what exam you sat last.
Can't
Tell me
remember,
what the title of the exam was.
I told you I can't remember right now.
Why not?
Because my mind is not steady. I told you. My mind is all messed up. I can't remember. I need some time.
Rubbish.
It's not rubbish.
You've been found out. You don't know the answers because you're not studying anything. It's quite frustrating because I know that anyone with any credibility as a student would remember the answers to my questions. You know, where did you study? He can't remember a whole year of his life. It's quite obvious he's got something to hide. Quite clearly he's trying to conceal something about his past here. It may well be that he has been attending college, the current college. The problem I have is how can I be sure of that if he's telling me he can't remember his tutors' names, the modules he sat, when he sat an exam, or what exam he sat. It's just nonsense.
Officer Lee is convinced he's not been studying, but without hard evidence, there's little to go on. She talks it over with her chief immigration officer.
All I have is that he has absolutely no idea. He just can't remember anything about his college. He can remember his journey there, he can remember a bit about what he does at work, but every time you ask him anything academic, he's got no idea. College is saying he's attending, but at the moment he's not satisfying me that he is, but I don't know what we can do. Because clearly I don't think we have enough at the moment.
No, because if it went to appeal, what we'll have is the college saying, yes, he's attended, yes, he's got all these pass marks, we're the educational provider, we know if someone's a good student or not. Well, we haven't got enough to go on.
No.
Personally, I think we're flogging a dead horse.
I know, as frustrating as it is. I shall tell him the good news. He'll be thrilled.
I'm sure he will be.
As one of the colleges says he's studying there, and there is no evidence to say otherwise, Officer Lee has no choice but to allow him into Britain.
Right, it's your lucky day. Alright? You awake? You understand what I'm saying, yeah? My chief immigration officer and I have spoken about you at length, alright? Now, whilst I'm not satisfied that you're studying here, at the moment I don't have enough to cancel your visa. So you're being allowed to enter today, all right? However, when your visa comes up for renewal in November, you'd better hope that you can remember by then what you've been studying. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem, all right?
So I think it was a bit stress, but end of the day it was quite good to a happy ending, would you say? I'll try and remember next time.
Unless I have an admission from him or from the college or from his employer that he has done something in breach of his visa conditions, I have no choice but to grant him entry.
No work, only sleep, eat.
Maybe some studying?
Yeah, of course. Alright, bye.
It's 11 p.m. in South Wales and the enforcement team is looking for illegal workers.
Specific intelligence was that illegal workers would be there after 10 o'clock, so that's why we're there at this time of night.
This team raids 150 takeaways every year in the search for immigration offenders. Tonight they're visiting a kebab shop.
Good evening, fellas. Immigration. We've got a warrant to come in.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's do what you're doing.
Hello!
Officers search the premises for employees, even if it means waking them up.
Hello, mate. Immigration Service. Got a warrant to enter the premises. Do you want to get yourself up, please?
Downstairs, Officer Collins begins to question a man he found in the kitchen.
Nationality, where are you from?
I am from Turkey.
Turkey. Where are you living? Upstairs.
Abi, buradan
Is he sleeping upstairs? Is he living upstairs in the flat? Are you here on a work permit?
Work permit?
You got in your passport. What have you got? Okay, wait there.
Can I take?
Yeah, 1 second. He's got a passport upstairs there as well.
As officers search for the Turkish man's passport, the man who's just woken up faces a grilling from immigration.
So you've applied to stay here, have you? You're Albanian?
Albanian, yes.
Have you claimed asylum?
Yes.
Right, you've claimed asylum. And this chap, yeah, he's claimed asylum. application outstanding at the moment. Technically it was out of time, but there's a bit of grace period and it's accepted that it was within time even though it was out of time. Final one. So technically...
So we're still waiting for that.
This Albanian man came to Britain in 2001, aged 15.
Right. Where's your passport?
He was given permission to stay until he became an adult. He's since applied for asylum and is waiting for a decision. Upstairs, officers have found the passport they've been looking for.
Just like you.
Basically, he's presented us with a Turkish passport. He's got a visit visa in there, visit student, but the visa clearly states no work or recourse to public funds.
Second name, Akbas Alpha Kilo Bravo Alpha Sierra. He's got a student visa here.
This man came into the country as a student for a 1-month English course. It finished 3 weeks ago. His visa says he's not allowed to work here because he was studying on a short-term basis.
If he has been working, then he'll be deemed to be working in breach of his entry conditions and he may well stand to be arrested.
We caught him working in the rear. Oh yeah, he was behind the counter. So this course in St Giles, down in Eastbourne, that you took a month over, that's what you were supposed to come in for. You were supposed to leave after that. Yeah, so why didn't you leave after it? Okay. I think you've been working here. He's trying to improve his English, that's what he's been doing, I know he has. That's what he's been doing.
This student won't admit he's been working, but officers spot the kebab shop has CCTV. Maybe the truth will be on them.
That's one, yeah. It was him, yeah.
Just see this gentleman here serving a customer. He's saying he's not working here. Obviously, the evidence there is that he is.
Red t-shirt, gentleman working with red t-shirt, that's you, serving a customer.
So, and if we play this tape back over a longer period, it's going to be on there, isn't it? A lot more. So you might as well come clean and just tell us because we're going to play it back. We've got documentary evidence there that he's actually working. So he's working in breach of his conditions of his stay. I am now going to arrest him for working in breach, okay? It's a dead giveaway. I mean, it's a double-edged weapon. It protects them, gives them a bit of security, but then it works against them and shows them working.
Yeah. With the video evidence showing he works there, the student from Turkey is arrested and transferred to an immigration removal centre before being deported.
Back down, straight to the front. Alright, sorted.
Coming up, the man behind the mask.
Try to relax. You're going tense.
But will he make it into Britain? At Terminal 3, an Australian man has been stopped at passport control. Chief Dyson hands the case over to immigration officer Brendan Bruce.
Australian male, 4 months holiday, single ticket, 3,500 Australian dollars, which is what, 1,500 quid?
1,500, 2,000, yeah.
Going to stay with some friends in the UK. He also applied for the Youth Mobility Scheme. He was the working holiday maker kind of thing, and was refused. He's basically been to the consulate, said, I want to live and work in the UK for at least a limited period. We've said no, doesn't have a job to go back to, doesn't have that much money.
Has his bags been done?
Don't believe they have.
Okay, we'll start with that. We'll go straight down and do that now.
The passenger has been stopped because the immigration team believes he doesn't have enough money for a 4-month holiday. That, and just 3 weeks ago, he was refused a UK work permit.
I'm going to take you downstairs now for a baggage inspection. We're going to go straight down. Do you
He'll have to convince Officer Bruce that he's not here to work.
Bag.
A bag search may help the officer find any evidence of the man's intentions for his trip to Britain.
Did you pack in a hurry?
Yes.
The passenger seems nervous.
Try to relax. Try to relax. You're going tense.
Officer Bruce finds a mask, which may or may not be work-related.
You're looking nervous.
This man is carrying some strange clothes. But are they a concern for immigration? This document might be.
I found a letter of sorts, or a contract. It says a contract between master and slave. This contract is between the master and the slave. This contract is made with the full legal consent of both parties. The slave must learn to desire what the master wants. Signed by the passenger as the slave, dated the 5th of June 2008. That is not an employment contract as I would see it. So it's just, I think, a bit of interesting reading.
Officer Bruce is content the passenger's contract is not a sign of employment. But he still has concerns about the passenger's funds.
Okay, I'm going to go and interview the gentleman now. Mr. Goff?
The immigration interview gives Officer Bruce a chance to find out about the passenger's trip
At the end of the
and
interview, you
the
get
items
to read.
in his bag.
Okay, the equipment you have in your bag, if you're coming here for a short holiday, why do you have all of that with you? Your clothing, your fetish clothing.
Why?
Fetish clothing.
I intend to hopefully use it whilst I'm here.
Okay, you have a contract with your master. Where is your master currently?
I have no idea.
Will you receive any form of cash payment for using your equipment?
Absolutely not.
Okay, what do you have to return to in Australia?
Okay, I have a couple of pets. Obviously all my friends and family are in Australia. My life is in Australia.
I don't believe he can afford to be here. He's got £1,500 to last, including paying for at least partial rent, food, whatever transport he intends to do, whatever things he intends to do while he's here. He just doesn't have the funds.
Officer Bruce will now consult his Chief Immigration Officer, Sarah Dyson.
Let's think about what he really needs to survive in the UK, in London. You know, even living on beans and jacket potatoes for 4 months, it doesn't really hang together. And we know that he wanted to work here because we've got the evidence. You know, he applied for that visa and got only refused 3 weeks ago, didn't he?
So I'm recommending refuse leave to enter and return him to his country. I just want to come outside. I just need to explain something to you.
Sure.
Okay. The situation is this. Due to your current circumstances, I'm not satisfied. You are going to be refused entry to the UK today. So would you prefer to go tonight or take a flight tomorrow?
Might as well be tonight.
His lack of funds makes the immigration team suspicious he's here to work. He's refused entry and sent back to Australia on the next available flight. $25,000 men and women work for the UK border. At home and abroad, their job is to seek out the lawbreakers and imposters who don't have a right to be. They are the UK Border Force. Tonight, inside an immigration removal centre. A chartered flight for illegal immigrants.
It's immigration service.
A surprise raid on a Chinese takeaway.
You're under arrest. What's your head?
And the man who thinks this immigration officer should be doing something better.
All I want to say, I don't want to waste your time.
Listen, I'm getting paid to do this, so you're not wasting my time. I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Calais. In 2008, UK border agency teams found 20,000 people hiding in trucks headed for Britain. That's around 55 every day.
Yeah, go look in the back, please.
It's estimated there are 1,500 immigrants living rough in Calais, many of whom are children. They make frequent attempts to creep aboard the freight trucks. Most live in the jungle, a forested area a few miles from the port. Others camp right outside the perimeter fence, waiting for the right moment to sneak onto a lorry. Today, Officer Maggie Woodard rushes to the berths, the place where lorries wait just before boarding the ferry.
We've just had a phone call from our colleagues down at the berths, so we're going to go down there, assist with the possibility of clandestines being found inside. Well, it's two.
The clandestines have been found using CO2 probes that detect human breath.
Has that got the...
My colleagues who were working down here probed this lorry and they got a high reading. They opened it up and they found these two illegals on the side of the lorry. We're just trying to get them out now.
One chance. One chance. Tomorrow, no chance. We've spoken to the driver. He said his last stop was in Belgium, but we think he also mentioned a 15-minute stop just along the road for diesel, so it's more than likely they are from the jungle originally.
Officer Foley discovers they used a familiar method to break into the truck.
Right, we've opened the trailer up, and it looks like we've got a tilt cord here that the driver could have used. In addition with the seal, would have sorted this whole problem out for him, wouldn't have been in there.
The driver failed to tie down and lock the canvas sides of his freight.
It looks like when the driver was stopped, someone's opened up the side for them, they've scooted in, and then someone's done all the hooks back up again. Once they've got in, the driver's none the wiser. I would say 95% of the time, there's got to be someone that's sealed the vehicle back up after them.
How old?
Where do you want to go?
England.
Why England?
England, good. Good England.
These clandestines aren't alone in thinking England holds the answer to their dreams. For them, it's the place to find work and start a new life. They'll keep on trying to defy the locking systems. On this occasion, the driver and his company were fined £1,300 for failing to secure the freight.
England, good. Two gentlemen, maybe again tomorrow. They keep saying one chance for today. They'll know, they'll just keep trying. They'll willingly admit to us that they're going to keep trying until we get to England.
The areas where lorries are searched are called the lanes. Here, Officer Barrett has a high reading on his CO2 probe and has opened up the lorry.
We could smell, as soon as we came in, the smell of clandestine.
There's another clue clandestines are aboard, the distinct aroma of people who've been living rough.
It's like the bonfire sort of smell. Quite distinctive once you've sampled it a few times.
Mark, what have we got?
There's all different, one's claiming to be Syrian, Afghan and Iranian.
This mixed international cargo is unusual, as most clandestines travel in groups of fellow countrymen.
Makes the job more rewarding, because that's what we're here to do, to prevent clandestines entering the UK.
Just one at a time, Judith?
Yeah.
And this is what the job's about.
Just as it's becoming another routine operation, one of the men becomes hostile.
Stay, you guys. Hey, enough. Stay. No, you stay. Okay, camera goes. You stay here. Okay, you stay here. Sit down.
12?
Might be best to stop filming like this. They're just starting to get a bit agitated, so it might be best to take the camera away just for a second.
The cameras back off to let the men calm down.
For whatever reason, he decided that he didn't want to be on camera, I think, and next one. Yeah, the easiest way to get rid of the camera is to kick off and get everybody to react. And there's always one, there's generally a ringleader who will take charge, who's been here before and knows how it works, so they follow him. Get after you. No one chance, not today, tomorrow. One chance tomorrow. He's very smiley.
Most clandestines are resigned to being here and openly tell the officers how they got in.
That last one that just came out said that they entered through the side of the vehicle and there's no tilt cord on it.
So again? If the driver had properly secured his freight, it could have stopped the clandestines from boarding. He was fined £1,200.
Sometimes you do get some people like clandestines that they tend to get a bit irritable if they come through again and again and again and get found all the time. But it's only the few. I mean, most of them are, try again tomorrow.
Coming up, tears at Heathrow.
We've made the decision.
I'm not going to run away. I just want to have a shower.
At this moment, you are inadmissible to the UK.
Inside an immigration removal centre, the man who wants a tax return.
I'm going to be removed from England. I want all my taxes back.
And the London enforcement team spoiled dinner.
Right, guys, anyone speak English?
At the outskirts of Heathrow is Colnbrook Immigration Removal Centre. It has the same security as a Category B prison. It holds 400 men in 2 sections. One section is long-term. Many in here are foreign nationals who have already served a prison sentence. Once their sentence is over, they are brought here to wait for their paperwork to be completed so they can be sent home. This can be complicated, and some have been here for years. Governments in some countries are reluctant to have people back with serious criminal records. There is also a short-term section. This holds illegal immigrants for up to a week.
Mr. Nooker?
Many here have been caught by enforcement teams and are from countries that are easier to negotiate with for their return. Colnbrook's UK Border Agency office is where the removal papers are processed. Officer Raza is about to meet an Algerian man who has just completed a prison sentence.
Are you Farid? You alright? Okay. He was convicted of a crime in the UK. He was sentenced to 16 months for robbery and attempted robbery. So he's now obviously under immigration, being detained under immigration powers. I'm just going to give you your deportation order. You will be required to leave and you're prohibited from entering the UK again as long as this order is enforced. Okay? That's all for you? Okay? I've seen Farid before, so I mean, I know what he's like. He tends to cooperate fairly well with immigration because he wants to go back to Algeria as soon as possible anyway. Hello lads, if you just take a seat on the far side, thank you.
Officer Chima is about to see an illegal immigrant from Kosovo. The man was sent here after being arrested in a late-night brawl. The police discovered he was here illegally and handed him to immigration.
All right, Mr. Lulak, my name is Mr. Chima. I work here for the Home Office. Do you understand why you're being detained here?
Well, somehow, yes.
Okay. Just to keep it brief, as you know, you were detained as someone who's to be removed from the UK. You have a flight back to Kosovo, Albania, on the 14th of May, which is next Thursday. That's your flight itinerary there. That is your factual summary, giving you a history of your case and also who's in charge of your case. So if you let your solicitor know what's happened, you can do so.
I don't have a solicitor, no, nothing.
Okay. There is a list of duty solicitors available here for you. You can speak to the officers.
I just want to go back.
Okay, that's fine.
The street fighter won't have long to wait. He'll be sent home next week on a specially chartered flight.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Officer Chima will speak to another Kosovan he wants to put on the same flight.
Mr. Jusufi had been here since 1998, so he's been here a long time. And we're going to serve removal directions on him. He came here claiming asylum also. His asylum claim was dismissed. In that time he's been working.
He arrived in 1998 and claimed asylum.
Mr. Jusufi, you take a seat on the far side, thank you. Thank you very much.
6 years later, his
Take a seat over there,
application
thank you.
was refused.
Yes, please.
He absconded but was arrested in an enforcement raid at a
Right,
pizza
Mr. Jusufi, my
restaurant
name is Mr.
in
Chima.
April
I work here for the Home
2009.
Office. Do you understand why you're being detained?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just to make it brief, you have a removal set back to Kosovo for the 14th of May, which is next Thursday.
Yeah.
That's your flight itinerary for you there.
Yeah.
This is also for you, just a case history of your time you arrived to the time of your detention.
Quite a long time.
Yeah.
He's settled in Britain and feels the country owes him a debt.
Because I've been working here with my papers for almost more than 10 years. Yeah?
Right.
And I've been paying tax for this country.
Right.
I want all my taxes back, yeah.
Right.
Because I'm gonna be able to move from England. I want all my taxes back.
Mhm.
Because I was working in my name. I didn't work in the other names. All the time in my name. And I've got a house in England as well. I got flat here.
Right. All I'll suggest...
That's why. And I got my fiance here. I didn't get anything from government, any income. So
I appreciate what you're saying, Mr. Jusufi. However, it isn't going to change that you will be removed at this point. So all I can say is you should speak to your legal representative and he'll be able to advise you on that. When the guy was talking about tax, we've had a few of those questions before. It's something that we don't get involved in. We'll tell them to take legal advice on it. But technically speaking, they've been here illegally, so they can't get their tax backdated in any way.
The 2 Kosovan prisoners will join 24 other Kosovans and Albanians on the flight chartered by UK Border Agency.
This is a regular thing that the UK Border Agency do. These charter flights have been planned and they happen on a fortnightly or on a monthly basis to specifically remove Kosovan and Albanian nationals back to that part of Europe.
It's one of 70 flights a year used for removing illegal immigrants. In 2008, over 1,500 were sent home this way. Many of those in Colnbrook were picked up by enforcement teams like this one. Officer Shane Healy is planning a raid on a Chinese takeaway.
We're going to the... Intelligence suggests that possible immigration offenders are working from this address, and previous visits to this kind of establishment have led to the arrests of failed asylum seekers and immigration offenders. So we'll go straight away.
In 2008, enforcement teams carried out 13,000 raids, resulting in over 10,000 arrests. The target today is a takeaway serving the locals of the well-heeled area of West Hampstead.
We're here. Right, let's go. Immigration Service, you want to come inside for us? It's Immigration Service, can you all want to come around this area for me? Put down what you're doing. Has that been clear downstairs? Yeah? Hi, from the Immigration Service. Okay, we're just here doing checks on people today. Actually, have a seat, yeah? You're right. We're immigration officers.
There are 9 employees. Officers check their immigration status.
Have you got a passport? Yeah. What type of passport have you got? You carry it about with you? Yeah. That's going to be fine. Lady's produced her passport to me. It's a valid passport. It's got a valid student visa in here, so she's got leave to remain in the UK. Where's your passport?
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's told me who he is. He's told me his story and stuff. Checked on our computer database, verified it from a copy of his passport. It's all fine. He's a British citizen.
The workers prove they are allowed to work in Britain, except for one. He applied for asylum, but was turned down.
Okay, those you have got.
All right, okay. He sought an application to remain here on the basis of his nationality and problems back home. That application's been looked at and it's been refused. He was asked, as a result of him being illegal in this country, to sign on at our office, which he's failed to do since 2004. Well, listen, you're under arrest. You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court.
The man is a failed asylum seeker hiding from the immigration authorities. Officers will now take the man to his home address to find his passport so they can remove him from the country. Without it, they will have to ask for emergency travel documents from the Chinese government, and they could face difficulties convincing them he's from their country.
The gentleman that then is arrested got his address, so we are going to go there and search for a document. Without a document, the likelihood of removing him is very unlikely, so we are going to go and search for a passport now.
Heathrow, Terminal 3. It carries over 30,000 passengers every day. That's over 10 million a year. Today at passport control is immigration officer Sheetal Patel.
Hi there. Travelling alone? Yeah?
She's about to check a woman who's just arrived from South Africa.
I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your stay here, yeah? How long are you going to be here?
3 months.
3 months. So immediately today, where will you be going?
I've got one friend picking me up from the airport, so I will be staying with him, or I will be staying with my other friends who are from South Africa as well.
Okay. So your friend that's picking you up, is he just a friend?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Miss Thomas, I have got some inquiries to make, okay? So just need to take this. Take a seat for me. You'll be here with us until I've finished conducting those inquiries, okay? Matt? Got a referral for you. Okay, we've got a South African female. She's just coming in. She says she wants to come in for 3 months, but she's just finished a 2-year working holiday. And she's only been away from the country for a month. She says she'll be going to Scotland, Ireland, visit other South African friends that she has here.
So in 2 years here, she just didn't get around to seeing Scotland and Wales.
And Ireland and Wales, yeah.
Doesn't hang together. And the idea of a working holiday is that you have a holiday and you do a bit of incidental work.
Exactly.
And that in 2 years you should,
pretty much be able to see what you need to see. Yeah.
So then to come back for another holiday on top of that makes me think that there's something here that's more important than going back there.
A 2-year working holiday visa allows 1 year of work and 1 year of holiday.
Right, just come with me this way.
The South African woman has already had one of these visas, and now she's back just 1 month later.
Yeah?
Officer Patel wants to find out if the friend waiting to pick up the passenger is just a friend. But it seems being stopped by immigration is all too much for her.
I know you're upset, but it's just, I just have to...
I feel alone now, and I just went out with my mom.
Do you want to give her a call? Do you want me to give...
She's at work now.
Okay.
I just want to go home. I don't even want to be here anymore.
Just grab your bags.
Although the passenger appears to have given up the fight, Officer Patel investigates further to assess her status. First, she calls the passenger's friend waiting in arrivals.
Hi Tom, my name is Sheetal. I'm an immigration officer at Heathrow Airport. Hi there. Are you meeting anyone today? Okay, just to let you know, she's currently being held with immigration. We do have some further inquiries that we need to conduct. Is it all right if I have a quick chat with you? And how is it that you know her? You just know through friends. Are you just friends or are you in a relationship? You're in a relationship, thank you. Okay then, thank you. Bye-bye. So it turns out that the gentleman downstairs, Tom, is the passenger's boyfriend. And when I asked the passenger if it's a boyfriend or a friend, she stated that he is just a friend. To have a boyfriend in the UK creates a stronger tie than just to have friends in the UK. So it gives her that extra thing to want to come back for. So not sure why she would have said on the desk that it's not a boyfriend, but that's what we need to find out.
The passenger has lied about who was picking her up. With a boyfriend here, Officer Patel suspects a short visit might turn into something more permanent.
As soon as the deception starts, that's when our alarm bells start ringing. And, it's just that, have you got more to hide? Is there more to this than you're letting on? Previous payslip from when she was here on her working holiday.
Officer Patel and her boss, Matt Dyson, look for other clues to find out why she wants to come to the UK. They discover a payslip.
£500 fortnightly, that's not bad.
That shows she's worked full time for that whole year.
Okay.
So that's not good.
So we just need to find out if she worked full time for the other year as well.
Where is it?
Her working holiday visa would have allowed her to work 12 months of her 2-year stay.
In this case, what we've got so far is there's a payslip there which appears to indicate, unless she was earning an enormous amount for a little bit of work, that she probably worked the whole of the last tax year, the one that we've just completed. Now, that means she's done all her work basically in that period. Now, do we really believe that in the first year she was here she did nothing at all? Well, that's unlikely, because let's be honest, if you're a working holiday maker on a 2-year working holiday, you're not going to sit around and not work for a whole year and then just do it at the end, because your financial constraints are the same at the beginning as they are at the end, pretty much.
Good morning, my name is Sheetal. I'm an immigration officer at Heathrow Airport.
Officer Patel calls the restaurant where the passenger has been working.
So she started 25th of June 2007 and departed 26th of Feb, did you say? 2009. Okay.
The manager says the woman worked over 20 months at the restaurant, 8 more than her visa allowed.
It just goes to show that she had a disregard for the restrictions that was put on her. When you do get your working holiday, you are told it's 1 year's holiday, 1 year's work, and she's abused that. Once you abuse something once, you can't be trusted that you're not going to do it again. That's the thing. I've just made a phone call, and they tell me that you were employed from the 25th of June 2007 to the 26th of Feb 2009.
Okay.
Yeah? So that's 20 months.
Okay.
Yeah? Do you understand what that means?
No.
Right. When you were given your working holiday visa, you were told how long you can work for.
Yeah.
And how long were you told?
A year.
Okay. So we've now found out that in fact, you worked for over that time, which means that you breached the restrictions given to you on your working holiday. So after speaking to Tom, yeah, he's told me that, like I asked you at the desk, are you in a relationship or is he just your friend? And you told me he's your friend. But when I asked him, he says he's in a relationship with you. So who's right, who's wrong?
I mean, if he wants to call it a relationship, then that's
Okay.
what
What do you call it?
a thing.
Okay. So
But I would say we're friends.
So you guys have been together as friends, and now you're coming back to see him.
Not necessarily him, but he
Okay.
knows that.
Okay. After speaking to him, he says that you guys are in a relationship. Why would he say that? Because he says he's actually discussed plans with you and stuff.
I don't know. I don't know.
The passenger is trying to make light of her relationship. For the chief, it doesn't wash.
You can have a certain amount of sympathy when someone's dreams are not going to go or come to fruition this week, but she has told lies.
Yeah. And she's done it once. We don't know if she's going to do it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She can go home first available flight, please.
Come on then. I'll tell you what's happening, right? We've made the decision and you've been refused entry today.
Just let me stay 1 week and then just let me... After 1 week, I swear on my mother's life, I will go.
Your removal flight is this evening, okay? Your removal flight is tonight at 8:30. At this moment, you are inadmissible to the UK. Therefore, we can't let you go anywhere. So, unfortunately, you have to stay with us in detention until your flight. But as far as taking you anywhere and put you anywhere else, I can't do that, I'm afraid. It doesn't stop you from coming back. You can still come back. You just need to...
I would never want to come
That's
back
fine.
here.
That's fine.
Never.
That's for you.
The passenger was put on a flight to South Africa later that evening. Coming up, the passenger who doesn't want to go home.
Right, guys, well, this woman that's coming out, she's pretty volatile. I want it. We may have to offer some more formal help to get her on the aircraft.
The hunt for the passport with the London enforcement team.
We want your passport. Your passport? One part of the job I hate.
And the student who obeys the rules twice a week.
And you've worked 20 hours a week for Asda, and you've worked 20 hours a week for William Hill. So, how many hours in total did you work?
Roughly 40 hours.
Just to see if there's any recovery.
The London enforcement team raided a Chinese takeaway and arrested a failed asylum seeker found working there. The team want his passport so they can remove him from the country. They've driven him back to his house to pick it up.
We go for it. Let's go.
Just so everyone's aware, there's children on the premises.
It appears there is a family living there.
Is that wife? Yeah.
The man failed to tell the officers he was married with children.
Excuse me. All right, okay. That's your wife, yeah?
Yeah.
Upstairs, officers are met with another surprise.
Right, guys. Anyone speak English? None of
A
you.
tiny room
Right,
with
Rose, come
6
sit down for
beds
me.
and
Speak
4
any
men
English at
about
all.
to eat dinner.
Mandarin or Cantonese?
With some nationalities, you find an awful lot of people to one room. We've done a visit, well, years back now, but we've found 47 Chinese in one 3-bedroom house.
The reason why we're here, okay, we want your passport. You have a passport?
It's ID, yes.
ID. Where?
Yeah, go on, it's going to be fine. Oh, baby. Oh, you got baby as well? Oh, okay, one in the oven.
The man's wife is pregnant with a second child.
Oh, very nice. No, don't you do that if you're pregnant. You shouldn't be picking up boxes if you're pregnant.
Okay.
All right.
Come on, sit down.
No, just sit down.
Okay, thank you.
Go on, sit down.
Anyone in the house speak English? Anyone in the house?
You speak a little bit of English, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you understand? You understand. You've been here a long time. You do understand a little bit. Listen. Right, listen to the officer, okay?
You've been here 10 years.
You understand a little bit of English, okay?
Hello? Yeah, hiya.
Home Office
I'm from the
checks
Immigration
reveal
Service,
his
UK.
wife is also a failed
Hiya.
asylum
I just
seeker.
need to explain
She
to this
keeps to
guy.
her bail conditions by
All right, no
reporting
problem.
regularly, but her
Yeah,
husband
yeah,
has
that's
not
good.
reported in
All right,
years.
no problem. They've both been asked to sign at the same office. She was only once a month and she's signing on. She's heavily pregnant, still makes it. He's able and doesn't. He's not told us about his wife and kids. You know, these are all relevant to us making a fair decision. You know, when was he going to tell us? When he was getting on the plane? Absolutely ridiculous. Makes a mockery of the whole system.
The husband and wife claim they don't have passports. The enforcement team have heard this before.
One part of the job I hate is searching.
I enjoy it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Back upstairs, it's a tight squeeze as officers check Home Office records on the 4 men.
We've got 4 Chinese gentlemen in this bedroom. They've produced us with their ARC cards, which is asylum registration cards. We're going to check on our systems, see what state their applications are in, and go from there.
The discovery of asylum registration cards should mean the Home Office will have details on file.
Hello, Vicky. We're in a house full of Chinese. Could you do some checks, please? Yep.
The 3 men claimed asylum on entry into Britain.
Charlie Alpha India.
They were given temporary release, and by the time their asylum
Warehouse,
claims were
is it,
refused, they had all absconded. The 4th man entered Britain on the back of a lorry.
Could you explain to him he's now under arrest as someone liable to be detained?
They are arrested to be questioned further and have their fingerprints taken. The team cannot find the passports to help remove the family from the country. It could take months to sort out emergency travel documents.
Right, we're going to release you, okay? That's not because you've been a good person. It's only because you've got a pregnant wife and child here. Right, but it's important that you come in and sign on with your wife.
He's got to act responsibly now for his family and start signing on with his wife every month.
The man and his wife are currently reporting as instructed.
That's why I'm on a guard, man.
The 4 men arrested upstairs were later released on condition they appear every 2 weeks at a reporting centre. They reported once before absconding again. At a location near Gatwick, a private security firm is gearing up for a big operation. While most of Britain sleeps, team leader Alan Mackay briefs his 68 custody officers on Operation Aardvark.
Right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Operation Aardvark 355. We'll be returning 26 detainees to either Albania or Kosovo. We have 3 coaches going two to Colnbrook and 1 to Brook House, and then we have a van going up to Yarlswood.
Colnbrook Immigration Removal Centre. Officers wait the detainees for an early morning flight.
Good morning, Mr. Hassan. You know what's happening today? Come down.
Give us a quick search.
I was waiting because I waited for court.
Mr. Lulej, good morning. You know what's happening, don't you?
Of course I know.
Excellent.
I can't wait.
Excellent.
I want to go home now.
The Kosovan man arrested in a street fight has shaved his head.
You outside.
Be back soon.
The coaches arrive carrying the custody officers.
Our job primarily is to take them from the custody of the immigration removal centre. They'll then be taken into our custody. Then they're brought out of the centre and onto the coaches for transportation. It's fair to say that the vast majority of these guys are they've had fair warning that they will be removed from the country. They've made their arrangements. The majority of them are happy to go. Occasionally we may get somebody that's not quite so cooperative, but we try our best.
They will pick up illegal immigrants from 2 other removal centres and will rendezvous at the airport at 8 a.m. Most of the detainees have been caught working illegally, but some have served time in prison for violent offences.
There's a good rapport between the staff and those in our custody, and we like to keep it that way. We like to make sure that we build up a relationship, a bit of sense of humour, and talk about football, find something in common. Yeah.
Today, UK Border Agency have chartered an entire plane to deport them.
Okay, they're coming on. This is where the staff come into their own, really, and they start to ease tensions and de-escalate any problems that they may see arising. Nobody's going to be removed forcibly unless they resist the removal.
Just as the last few take their seats, there is a problem with a woman who doesn't want to board. The flight can't leave without her.
She's pretty volatile. Let the girls deal with it. I want you guys we want a cordon around the van. Yeah? Let the girls deal with it, please. All right, guys. We've got a female detainee that's reluctant to get on the aircraft. The girls are talking to her now. We're trying to persuade her that the best option really is to go along with us. Unfortunately, it may be that we may have to offer some more formal help to get her on the aircraft. Slowly does it, girls. Slowly does it. Slowly does it.
You right then? Can we take it here or
take the hand?
Yeah.
It's a delicate situation for the team already on board. They don't want to unnerve any of the other passengers.
She's afraid of flying. She's scared of being on an airplane. So the medic will give her some tablets to calm her down. That's all it is. She's an elderly lady and she's scared.
The illegal immigrants are escorted back home by 56 custody officers. 4 Kosovans will go to Pristina and the rest to Tirana in Albania. When the officers return, they will need to start preparing for the next chartered flight to a different destination in a few days' time. Passport control, Heathrow, Terminal 3. A passenger is taken to have his bags searched. Officer Hassler wants to know why he has come to the UK.
Just been handed this case. It's a returning student on a Pakistani passport. The issue we've got is that he's known to us for having a UK residence permit refused.
I'm afraid.
The residence permit was an international graduate scheme work permit, also known as an IGS. It was refused because his education certificates were from a UK college listed as bogus.
What he's then done, he's then reapplied for a new student residence permit. So the question is, we've got somebody who was studying, who in fact wants to work here, was refused a work permit, but has now then gone and reapplied as a student visa, which is strange to say the least.
The man has just 4 days left on his original student visa. If he's allowed in, he can immediately apply for a new IGS work permit. The application process will give him up to 3 months extra time in the UK, much longer than the 4 days left on his current visa, even if the application is refused.
Okay, we're just going to take you to another area now, okay? Well, I need to do your fingerprints and also need to take a picture of you as well, yeah? Yes. So what I'm going to explain to you, right, you've been held up at the moment. There's insufficient reliable information for me to decide whether to grant you entry, okay? And at the moment, you've given unsatisfactory answers to the questions given by the original officer on the control, okay? Okay. What other documentation have you got here that I can have a look at whilst we're here?
Most foreign travellers on visas bring with them a few supporting documents. This man has brought hundreds.
So you refused?
That was a work permit, basically.
IGS, yeah?
IGS, it is.
So I mean, this is an awful lot of documentation, but you do tend to find certain nationalities will carry their documentation with them. Like I said, this is a great deal, so it just makes my job a little bit harder to sift through it all and find what's relevant and what's not. I tell you what, he's more organised than I am.
Among the documents are wage slips from William Hill, Ladbrokes and Asda. A foreign student in Britain can work a maximum of 20 hours a week.
On the control, he did tell the officer that he was working at Asda, so we need to clarify how long he's been working for Asda, because clearly if he's working one place and then working 2 places, then the cumulative hours would be in excess of those 20.
He also finds letters from several colleges in Britain, all claiming he is studying with them. Officer Hassler wants to know how he can be in all these places at once.
So we're going to go in an interview and we're just going to ask him about his time as a student, and see what he says, because we've got colleges overlapping, massive, we've got 3 or 4 colleges at any one time that he's supposed to be studying at. So we'll go in there and we'll have a chat and see what he comes up with, and we'll see if he can discuss his course content. Okay, what I'd like you to do, just come in here please and sit down there, alright? Are you fit and well to be interviewed?
I'll try my best.
No, I don't want you trying your best. I want you to tell me, are you fit and well to be interviewed? Because I want to ask you some questions, and what I don't want you 5 or 10 minutes saying, oh, I can't answer that because I'm not well. Are you fit and well to be interviewed?
I mean, have I got any option?
Of course you've got an option. I'm asking you a question. Are you fit and well to be interviewed? If you don't feel you're well enough to be interviewed, you tell me, and I'll refer you back to the doctor.
I think I'm fine.
You think you're fine?
The interviewers got off to an uncomfortable start, and
I
the
will
real
then
questions
refer
haven't even
my
begun.
case and my findings.
After the break, Officer Hassler turns up the heat.
All I want to confess is I have done nothing wrong in your country.
Okay, right, let me be the judge if you do nothing wrong, okay?
A man has arrived from Pakistan with just 4 days left on his student visa. Officer Hassler has questions about the certificates he submitted for a work permit and the hundreds of documents found in his hand luggage. He has at least 2 jobs and is studying at a number of colleges.
Why have you come to the UK?
Today?
Yeah, correct.
To study.
Okay, and where?
LSMS.
Which is?
London School of Management Sciences.
How long have you studied there?
Almost 5 years.
So, since your arrival then, you've effectively been studying all your time at London School of Management Science. Can you tell me why I have a letter from Empire College dated November 2004 saying that you were a full-time student doing a Bachelor of Science in Physics? So why would they be issuing you a letter if you've never studied there?
No, basically I didn't inform them that I've left the college.
Why would you ask for this letter if you had no intention to be studying there? And please start telling me the truth, because at the moment you're not, and I can tell you're not.
No, that's what I'm telling you, sir.
That's what you're telling me.
I was still enrolled in then college, but I wasn't.
How can you possibly be enrolled in a college that you've never attended?
It's basically, sir, it's a misunderstanding because it wasn't my fault. All I want to say, I don't want to waste your time.
Listen, I'm getting paid to do this, so you're not wasting my time. I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
All I want to say, sir, I'm studying at whatever I have told you under pressure or
Listen, you're not under pressure because I give you ample opportunity at the beginning of this interview and you chose to say that you were fitting well. And I did say, what I don't want you to do is start saying, oh, well, you know, I'm a bit confused, because your English is fine. It is more than acceptable for me to understand you, and I know that you can understand me.
All I want to confess is I have done nothing wrong in your country.
Okay, right, let me be the judge if you do nothing wrong, okay? What did you apply for in June of last year?
IGS.
And what happened to that?
It was refused.
What letters did you submit? What letters and certificates did you submit?
I did give them the result sheets. The postgraduate diploma in business administration.
From where?
From Westminster College of Computing.
Did you study at Westminster College of Computing?
No, sir.
Then how did you get all these certificates? You're best to just answer the truth, okay? Because I know what the truth is, and it's better that you corroborate it. So just answer me the question. How did you get these documents?
A person helped me to make these documents.
So they are false documents?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Yes. Were you working?
Yes, I was.
Where were you working?
Asda.
What hours do you work there?
I worked 20 hours there.
And what about William Hill?
I did work in William Hill as well.
So, we started end of December 2006, beginning of 2007 with Asda, okay? And you started William Hill the same time, okay? And you've worked 20 hours a week for Asda, yeah? And you've worked 20 hours a week for William Hill, yeah? So, how many hours in total did you work?
Roughly 40 hours.
And you still work for Asda and William Hill, yes?
So all I want to say is I'm not breaking any law or anything, or not harming.
Listen,
anyone.
just a sec. You say you're not breaking a law, right? But what do you think immigration law is? It's not one rule for one person, one rule for another. You are breaking the law. As a student, okay, you're not allowed to work more than 20 hours a week. You're working 40 hours a week. As a student, you're not supposed to pay for fraudulent documents to submit to the UK Home Office to then try and get a work permit to live in the UK. So you tell me where you've not broken the law.
Sir, I didn't mean to break the law. It was just my fault. It was my mistake, sir. It's as it is.
Okay. Do you need anything to eat? Food? You're okay? All right. From the very beginning, I mean, you could tell that he was struggling to sort of keep up with what was going on with regard to what his history was or what his purported history was. And we've established that he's gone and purchased these documents that he then submitted to the Home Office attempting to get a work permit. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's a clear refusal. Okay, Mr. Bourgeois? Right. I need to explain to you that you're going to be refused entry into the United Kingdom, okay?
If I go just back and straight away if I apply again straight away, I'm asking for advice.
If you're asking my honest opinion, if you went back to Pakistan and then you said next week you applied for a student visa, I would say it's very highly unlikely that you would be issued with a student visa. My personal opinion.
After a month or so.
Okay, you've got to
The man
think
has
yourself,
worked
right?
double the hours permitted for a student, and he's submitted false documents to try and get a visa. Yet he still hopes he can come back soon.
This is a massive problem we have now with students. It's what takes up the day, is returning students who are ultimately bogus students. They get the residence permit or they get the entry clearance from their country of origin, they come to the UK, don't ever study, get fraudulent documents to show that they have been or claim to have been studying, and then it just perpetuates itself. They get their residence permits, they get their extensions, and it's all built on a lie.
25,000 men and women work for the UK border agency. At home and abroad, their job is to seek out the lawbreakers and imposters who don't have a right to be here. They are the UK Border Force. Tonight, visa officers play Spot the Imposter in Lagos, Nigeria.
The facial expression in all of them is all the same.
It's the end of the road for a Lithuanian ram raider.
I don't think that's really an excuse for committing a crime, do you?
And Eastern promises are broken in a Chinese takeaway.
I think I don't need to pay the fine.
Heathrow is one of the world's busiest airports. Terminal 2 is its oldest terminal. A flight from Lagos, Nigeria has just landed. At the desk is Officer Bali Ruprai. She's been part of the passport team at Heathrow for almost 7 years.
Just take your passports and your landing card. Okay, just the one passport, yeah? Yes.
All the passengers have passed through, except for one. This man says he's a security guard in London and has permission to work here, but his passport has a fake document. Officer Ruprai has noticed the stamp belongs to a woman.
We have an indefinite leave stamp which is in the document. This has, the pages that the stamp is on has simply been taken out of somebody else's genuine passport and stitched into this document.
To get this far on a false document, he will have completely avoided the British High Commission in Lagos and hoodwinked airline staff on boarding the plane.
So is this you? Okay, I just need you to come with me. Right, I'm going to go downstairs to search your bags. Okay? Do you know why we've stopped you today? Okay, we're not happy with your document. Is this your document? No? It is your
now
document.
It's time for a bag search with Officer Ruprai and her colleague, Officer Talavantu.
What's your real name?
My name's Okpeba Benson. Sorry? Okpeba Benson.
Okay, whose is this passport?
I have a problem for where I came
Okay, answer the question please. This passport, who does it belong to?
The passport?
Yes.
There's somebody that gave it to me. I normally call him Uncle London. I have problem at home.
Right. We need to search your bags. And then, okay, 1 second. We need to search your bags, and then after we will go upstairs and we will talk about what problem you have. Okay?
First things, where did you get the passport from?
There's a good Samaritan that gave it to me.
A good Samaritan?
Yeah.
Good Samaritans forge passports nowadays.
In Lagos.
In Lagos?
Yeah, so I expressed everything to him.
Okay.
I told him everything that happened.
Okay. Okay, this looks like a crib sheet. It says here, where do you work? I am a security officer in Oak Kent Road. These are the answers that you were giving us on the desk.
I'm just doing it on my own, sir, because I know...
Is that correct? Isn't that what you said on the desk? You did say that I work on the Oak Kent Road. Is that correct? Yeah? That is correct, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. What else are you not telling us?
I said I have problem at home.
Okay, you keep saying you've got problems.
Yeah.
We've told you we'll come to those later. Okay, but for us to be able to help you, you have to be honest with us now.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm telling you
no
the
point
truth,
being, no point telling us any stories. So what is your real name again? Sorry, I've forgotten.
My name?
Your real name, yeah.
My name?
Yes.
Benson.
Benson. Can you just write on the back of this card your date of birth? 17 September 1993.
Yes, sir.
17 September 1993. That makes you, by my crude calculations, 15.
Yeah.
You're 15 years old.
Well, by 17th of September, I will become 16.
You on the 17th of September. Okay.
The officers suspect that Benson has been trained in Nigeria to beat the UK immigration system.
Okay. Let's go.
He's claiming to be 15. He doesn't appear to be 15. It's possible that
he is claiming to be a minor because it's more difficult to remove minors from the United Kingdom. This is something we will be continuing to look at. Just going to go and place him into the holding room. Okay, Benson, I need you to get up, please. Are you tired? Sorry?
My eyes are turning me.
Okay, well, I'm going to take you into another room where you're going to be a bit more comfortable. You can have something to eat there and have something to drink, okay? If you just want to come through with me. Benson, just follow me.
No, there's nobody in Italy because she is already dealing with your case.
know,
And you'll be given
please,
plenty of
sir.
opportunity to...
Please, sir.
No,
I'm
you'll
not
be given
looking for opportunity. I swear, I swear.
You'll be interviewed further.
Okay, Benson.
There's no need to
Benson.
do like this, okay?
Benson.
Please, sir. Please, sir.
Benson, we
You'll
need
be
you to
given
get up.
I have a
opportunity.
problem. No, please, sir. Believe me, please. I swear, please.
Listen.
I ran away. Look at my brush. Look at my toothbrush. See, can't tell me
Okay,
that.
calm down, Million. Calm down first, calm down.
Benson claims to have run away.
I need you to get
If he's
up.
telling the truth, he's a vulnerable child in a foreign country. But it could all be part of his plan to get into the
You go there,
UK.
relax yourself, have something to eat.
Coming up, the man with 2 birthdays,
That is the correct date of birth.
Which one?
and caught at Calais, the man with an international arrest warrant.
You had a choice either to do this or not to do this. You knew what you were doing was illegal.
Lagos, Nigeria, a city with a worldwide reputation for fraud. The streets are awash with outlets for fake documents. Documents that are then used in attempts to obtain genuine UK visas at the British High Commission. This is the front line in the battle against fraud. In 2008, 9,000 fraudulent documents were submitted in applications for UK visas. Entry clearance officers are trained in sifting out the fake from the genuine.
People supply birth certificates, wedding certificates and photos as family ties in Nigeria to show that they have an incentive to return here. Like, for example, these photos here. The facial expression in all of them is all the same. It's just been totally superimposed there on all 3 photos.
But not all fraudsters are so easily detected. This man is applying for a UK visitor's visa. It's his 4th attempt. Records show that he has 2 different dates of birth. Today, Officer Phil Morgan will ask him about his 2 birthdays and about some fake documents from an earlier application.
On his previous application, he submitted forged share certificates. So we'll raise that at interview and ascertain whether these are actually his certificates. If he admits to them being, then he will automatically fall to be refused. Morning. Who completed your visa application form?
It is me.
You did?
Yeah.
Your previous passport had your date of birth as the 25th of December 1972. Now your present passport...
That is the correct date of birth.
Which one?
This 15th of August, 1975, 1976.
Now with your last application,
Yeah.
you submitted these share certificates.
Oh, that was a mistake. This is not my own. It is the agent that I gave I submit to the travel agency during that time.
But the share certificates are in your name.
I know it's written in my name, but it's not my own.
It's not yours?
Yeah.
How come? Can you explain why the share certificates are in your name?
Yeah. The certificate that I submitted to the travel agency, if you understand what I'm saying, it is them that printed all these things. But I don't know. They came to our shop to collect their money, so that's how that come up.
Okay. So what do you do for a living?
I'm a businessman.
What business are you in?
Trading.
In
I'm
trading?
selling generator, yeah.
Are there any other documents you want me to see?
Yeah. This is my school cert to back.
Is this your
the
West
passport.
African Examination Council
Yeah.
certificate, yeah?
Yeah. I know it's going to be a challenge for me to come here and tell you that, but I just want you to know that it's my
Well, I'll need to take a photocopy of that, all right?
Yeah.
That's the end of the interview. If you wouldn't mind waiting outside in the waiting room, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've got his West African Examination Council school certificate, which is sort of the equivalent of O-levels or GCSEs in England. And on this certificate, it states his date of birth as the 15th of August 1976, which is the date of birth reflected in his new passport. He hasn't satisfactorily explained these share certificates. We know they're counterfeit, so he has used deception in a previous application. So I am of the opinion that this application will be refused, but we could get him arrested by the local Nigerian police force. Hi, Mr. Yusuf. Your visa application has been refused.
Yeah?
Your visa application has been refused. Your
No,
current...
it has been refused.
Yes, it's been refused, okay. And the reason for your refusal is that you submitted forged documents with your previous application. Yes, okay. Right, there's a copy for you. I can't hear you, sorry. Sorry?
Did I stand a chance to apply in another time?
No, because of your previous deception, you've been banned for 10 years before you can apply for another visa application, okay? The gentleman over there has your documents and passport.
My name is Alex Mawar from the Special Court Unit.
A Lagos police officer escorts him from the premises.
You know that forgery is a criminal offense? You don't know.
The man escapes with a warning. Their priority is arresting the large-scale fraudsters running the trade in false documents. Two and a half thousand miles away in London, and Benson, a passenger from Lagos, is still adamant he is 15 years old. Officer Ruprai suspects he's been coached
we've got
and is referring this
another
case to her
few
chief
sheets of
immigration
paper here.
officer.
What's interesting is the crib notebook that we found in his bags. We've got questions like, you know, where do you live in London? His response, where in London do you live? And, you know, it's listed the address, exactly where. An interesting one, how do you like the airport or get to the airport to your house? I take the underground tube, and it lists which ones he should be getting to get himself there. But that's quite interesting.
Yeah, they've obviously prepared him, haven't they? Or tried to prepare him.
I may ask him in the interview and see exactly what he says. You just take a seat. Take a seat on that side there. We have this document that is not yours. Do you agree with me? Okay, this document contains an indefinite leave stamp. Whose stamp is this?
The person I bought this thing from.
What is the name of that person?
We normally call him Uncle London.
Uncle?
London.
London. Okay, why do you have a notebook and why do you have questions in there regarding what you're doing here in the UK?
After I bought this thing from the boy, person, so I said when I get to London, so where will I go?
Yeah.
He said, okay, he said I should just say I'm working in a construction site.
How do you know Uncle London?
When I get to Lagos to see my friend now take me there. Say since I have problem, I should go and meet him so that he can just give me a helping hand.
You say you're 15, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you do at home in Nigeria?
I'm a student, sir.
A student?
Yes, sir.
And where do you study?
Sir?
Where do you study?
I studied at the Kuchego Grammar School.
When did you join this high school?
That was 1990.
1990? Right, so you...
Not, I said 1990. 2006.
2006?
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned 1990.
No, I said 1990. If I went to school 1990, by now I was supposed to be a graduate.
Right, okay.
I want to say 2006 because I'm in JS3.
Okay, so just so to satisfy my curiosity, why did you mention that 1990 date?
Huh?
Why did you mention that
I
1990
want to mention 2000. Me looking at you people, let me just tell you simple. I'm afraid.
Okay.
I believe that you're not 15.
I'm 15
To me, you look older than 15.
I'm 15.
Okay, how will I believe that you are 15?
I'm 15.
How will I believe that?
Take it from me.
Okay, when you arrived, Benson, you lied to the immigration officer. Earlier, you lied and said this was your passport.
Huh?
So how can I believe you?
No, that was initially just, I'm afraid, I don't know what to say.
Okay, at the moment, you don't have a visa in this document which is genuinely being issued to you, so we will be refusing you and returning you to Lagos. How do you feel about that?
Oh, please, no. Please, sir.
Okay, Benson. Okay, Benson.
Please, sir. Please.
Benson, I need you to look at me. Take a seat, sit there and talk to me and tell me what your problem is, and then I can help you. Why can't I send you back to Nigeria? Because this passport has
I'm not in safe hands.
Okay, why are you not in safe hands?
I lost my dad and my mom. So, after the burial ceremony, I'm at home alone. So I saw the money they brought from the bank. So I collected the whole money.
You took money from where?
I said I lost my dad and my mom.
Okay.
So after the burial ceremony, so they now said we should go and bring the money he has. So after keeping the money, I went there and I collected the money.
What happened? Both of them died on the same day.
Armed robbers, thieves, came to our house. So they said they want money. So then my father is not with money. So the other thief now tell him, say, you should waste those people since they don't have money.
Right.
So that is how it happened. So they shot the two of them. After rushing them to hospital, they died. The family of my father, they are after me. That is what I'm talking. That is why I went to Lagos.
What will happen if you go back to Nigeria?
They want to kill me. That is just the simple truth.
So what do you want from us today?
I just want you people to keep me in safe hands. Safe hands.
And how do you think we can do that?
You can just, I don't know. You know, I'm a stranger, yes, I don't know. I just beg so that you can help me.
So are you saying that you wish to claim asylum while you're here in the UK?
I don't know the meaning of asylum.
If you want us to help you, you need to keep telling the truth.
I will always tell you the truth, and that is just the truth. Listen, I swear.
Okay, which is fine, but you're telling us you're 15 years old and we don't believe you.
I'm 15 years old.
Okay, and we need to establish that. We need to find out your real age. So if you help us, we can help you. Do you understand that? Yeah. Okay? If you just want to come through. If you want to take your Holy Bible, you can. We've interviewed him. He is wanting us to help him because he has a problem back in Nigeria. I've put it to him, does he wish to claim asylum? He said he's not fully aware of it. However, he can't go back to Nigeria because he said his family members will kill him.
Okay, then, so from here, really, we need to think about getting social services involved and processing his case for asylum.
They don't believe he's a child of 15. They think he's in his early 30s. But without proof either way, they follow the rules and hand him over to social services for an age test. Whilst waiting for this test, he was placed in a house in southeast London. He has since vanished and his current whereabouts is unknown. Calais, northern France. In 2008, the UK Border Agency searched over 1 million lorries and stopped 28,000 attempts to cross the channel illegally. This morning, it's business as usual.
Yeah. How many? 1, 2, 3, 5, possibly. Where are you from? Iraq, Iran, Afghan? 5 of you? Okay.
The team has found 5 stowaways, 1 from Iran and 4 from Afghanistan. Of all the nationalities caught attempting to enter the UK illegally, Afghans are the most frequently encountered.
So this actually looks like where they've got in. They've tried to put it back together with a couple of pieces of, looks like shoelaces. Yeah, that's where they pointed out to me where they've got in Calais, about 3 hours ago, they said.
But searching for stowaways in the back of trucks isn't the only way to stop people from entering the UK. Officer John Kendall is checking passengers at passport control, boarding ferries by coach and car. His team have stopped a man from Lithuania, believing him to be the subject of a European arrest warrant.
It turns out that he's of interest to the Austrian police. He's on a European arrest warrant, and it appears that he is suspected of being involved in a ram raid on a jeweller's in Austria. Apparently he lives in Ireland, so I think we're going to have to look into that further, possibly looking to refuse him admission to the UK.
Yes, I would definitely recommend.
Yep.
No, that's great.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
Let me know what happens.
Okay, you just come with me if you want.
The Lithuanian man is wanted in Austria to face charges for ram raiding a jeweller's. He's lived in Ireland for 2 years but claims he can't speak any English. It's Saturday afternoon and there are no interpreters at Calais, but Officer Kendall manages to get one over the phone.
What was the purpose of your trip to Austria?
Čia labai ilgai pasakot, šitą visą galėčiau papasakoti, bet per vieną žmogų susipažinau su vienu tokiu žmogumi ir mes išvažiavome, aš buvau ką tik grįžęs iš armijos.
So you thought you were going to find a job in Austria?
Iš tikrųjų, aš žinojau, kad kažką gal reikės daryti nelegalaus, arba jisai paskui žadėjo, kad susirasim darbus.
When you say you knew you'd be doing something illegally, what do you mean by that?
Iš tikrųjų, kai mes su juos susitikom, čia vardas Elvis yra, net nežinau, čia gal pravardė. Elvis. Čia gal pravardė ar vardas jau, aš net nežinau. Jisai pasakodavo, kaip anksčiau jisai važinėja, tenai apvaginėja parduotuvės ir nieks nieko nepagauna, jie labai gerai iš to gyveno.
So you went to Austria with the intention of shoplifting?
Jau kai aš nuvažiavau, tenai man nebuvo kitų pasirinkimų. Man kai buvo Lietuvoje, man nieks nieko nepasaka reikėtų. Man tik sakė, kad viskas bus gerai.
You had a choice as an adult either to do this or not to do this. And you chose to do it. You knew what you were doing was illegal.
Aš sakau, dėl to buvo man rizika, nes, sakau, žmonės buvo ten su gera mašina jie buvo.
So you're saying that you were coerced into doing this?
Galima sakyti taip, kaip ir privertė, nes jau neturėjom kitų pasirinkimų.
Did they hold your passports while you were in Austria?
Ne, viskas buvo su man.
No, we can't passport to that.
So your only reason so far really for doing this is that you didn't have enough money to leave.
Taip, aš neturėjom.
I don't really think that your motive's very good. If your excuse for doing this was, yes, I knew full well that what I was doing was illegal, but I needed the money to get home, I don't think that's really an excuse for committing a crime, do you?
Jie gal nesupranta iš tikrųjų, kai viskas būna, jeigu nežinai, kas bus, jeigu atsisakysi.
Before you'd left Lithuania, you knew you were going to be doing something illegal, but you still chose to do it. At that point, there were no pressures on you whatsoever. You could have stayed in Lithuania. Is that correct?
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
The man has admitted taking part in the ram raid, but the offence took place in Austria, not Britain. As an EU citizen, he is normally free to travel anywhere in Europe, but if Officer Kendall has grounds to believe that he poses a threat to Britain, he will not be allowed entry, and then he can hand him over to the French police. Coming up, the Welsh enforcement team visit a repeat offender at a Chinese takeaway.
Got a warrant to enter the premises.
Come and sit in the front.
And things go from bad to worse for the Lithuanian ram raider.
I'm sure you remember how many times you've been arrested by the police. In 2008,
UK border agency arrested 10,000 illegal immigrants in raids across the country. Enforcement teams build cases from intelligence they've gathered, as well as information from the general public. Today, the Swansea team are visiting a Chinese takeaway in Morriston, one of the most populated areas of the city.
We are going to visit Ming's Kitchen. Basically, we've had information in to suggest that there are immigration offenders working illegally at the premises. The 3-storey building, terraced. There is no visible rear to the property, so on this occasion we'll all be going through the front door. Seeing as you know Swansea so well. We've visited there last year and we encountered a number of people working illegally. A fine was imposed on the takeaway. Unfortunately, we have been to certain establishments on 2 or 3 occasions and they haven't learned their lessons and further fines have been imposed. So we'll see what happens now in the next 5-10 minutes.
Hello there, immigration. We've got a warrant to enter the premises.
We've got a warrant to enter.
Okay.
Come and sit in the front. Oh gosh. Come around the front.
You mind coming and sit here, please?
Come and sit down.
Hello, come out, sir. Immigration. Okay, just follow my colleague out to the front there, please.
Don't worry, it's no problem. We'll just get some identification from you and check, okay?
How are you? If you want to come through for me, please.
How many people here?
2.
2. You 2?
Yeah.
No more people? No more?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody upstairs?
My baby.
You're sleeping?
Yeah.
Do you want to go with this lady?
Yeah.
Sorry, next to.
Will you come with me to look upstairs? Thank you.
Stay over there, thank you.
Don't worry, no panic, don't worry.
The owner of the restaurant says there's no one else in the building except for her baby, asleep upstairs.
I asked the lady whilst we were upstairs if she had an identification and she says she's got a Chinese passport, which I've brought down, and a British passport for her baby. So we'll just check that now to make sure it's genuine and it's got the correct visa inside, and she'll be fine. Yep. She's got a residence permit with limited leave to remain. She's allowed to work in the UK. It was granted in March last year. And she's already registered the baby as a British citizen. So there's no issue with the baby.
She came in as a spouse. After the 2 years, she applied for indefinite leave and was granted it and gets that vignette. So, yeah, not subject to control anymore.
The owner was married to a British national, but is now divorced. Both she and her baby have permission to live and work in the UK. But the team have suspicions about the man found in the kitchen, who she claims is her new partner.
Okay. Does he have a passport or any form of identification?
No.
Okay, okay. How long has he been in the UK?
他问你在英国多久了？
大概有13年了吧。
13年哈，before 13 years.
Okay. Did he enter the country illegally?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Has he made any applications to the Home Office to stay here legally?
Asylum seeker.
He's claimed asylum already, has he?
Yeah.
Okay. And he says that his asylum was approved.
He said at the beginning they approved, the later they refused.
Okay. They don't normally approve and then disapprove. So he's got paperwork upstairs?
Yeah, that's nigger.
The man's story is unusual. He says the Home Office granted him asylum, but revoked it at a later date. If he's found to be an illegal worker, the owner will be fined up to £10,000. Back in Calais, and Officer Kendall is interviewing the Lithuanian ram raider. The officer will not invoke the European arrest warrant, but will investigate the case.
Have you ever had any other problems with the police or law enforcement authorities? And have you had any problems since you've been living in Ireland?
Нет никаких проблем у меня. gyvendamas Airijai?
Nu, irgi tas pats, o ten viešosios tvarkos, ten triukšmavimas, dar kas nors.
Just once?
Nu, tu.
Maybe two. I'm sure you remember how many times you've been arrested by the police.
Du, ja.
So you've had two problems in Ireland in 2 years. Decent average. Okay, so the Austrians have issued a European arrest warrant for your arrest for what you were doing in Austria. If the arrest warrant's enforced by the French police, you'll be arrested and probably returned to Austria. Okay, so I will go and speak to my senior officers, and we need to decide if you're going to be refused admission to the United Kingdom or not. And you've understood every single word I've been saying without the interpreter, haven't you?
Yes.
So why did you insist on me wasting public money on the interpreter? Not really funny, is it?
With the admission of his part in the ram raid and 2 other offences whilst living in Ireland, Officer Kendall considers he has grounds to prevent the man from entering the UK. But first, he refers the case to his chief.
Finished the interview with our Lithuanian guest. He's more or less admitted that he has committed the offence that the Austrians have accused him of.
So he does present a serious threat to the fundamental interest of society.
I would say, I think, as he knowingly travelled from Lithuania to Austria to commit a criminal offence, there's a chance of reoffending. So.
What I'll do then is I'll contact the duty inspector and refer your findings to her and see how we go from there.
Yep.
Once again, the case is referred upwards before a final decision is made.
Right, I have a young male Lithuanian national who presented himself at the control a couple of hours ago. Yes. I mean, we believe here that, you know, he presents a serious threat to the fundamental interests of society by personal conduct, so we were looking to refuse him L1. Thank you. No problem, have a good day. Take care, bye now. Okay.
Yes, then.
Yes, please. If we go ahead then and refuse admission, and what I've discussed with Penny...
Entry to the UK is denied. Later that day, the man was handed over to the French police, who enforced his return to the Austrian authorities. In South Wales, the Swansea enforcement team are in the bedroom of a Chinese man found working in a takeaway. Foreign nationals and asylum seekers are not allowed to work in the UK unless given permission by the Home Office. He claims he was allowed to work while his asylum application was being processed.
Okay, the gentleman's shown me a letter which is received from the Home Office. He's obviously made an application to the Home Office and he's written to them requesting whether he can take employment while his asylum application is being considered. We can use this document to, it's got references on it, so we can check with Home Office then what stage his asylum application is at. Okay, Mr. Hugh, go back downstairs then.
The letter is from the Home Office detailing a request for asylum in 1997. But it's unclear whether the application was successful. Downstairs, the owner of the takeaway is also being questioned about the man's immigration status. No matter how many hours he works, even working for free.
Sorry? How long has he been helping out in the kitchen?
If he's in Britain illegally, she's breaking the law.
He was working in the kitchen when we came in?
No. He just
helping?
Help and look after baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much do you pay him for helping out?
Nothing.
Okay. So how many hours does he help out normally each day?
1 hour.
But 1 hour each day?
No, sometimes because I have got a baby have to be looked after. So
yes.
He's a response for look after baby.
Okay, so sometimes 1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen any documents to say that that man can be in the UK and is allowed to work here?
He got the NI number. NI. NI national insurance.
Okay,
The Home Office database will reveal whether the man is here legally or not.
Right, I'll give you the family name is Zhu, that's X-ray uniform. Illegal entrant. Has he submitted any other applications? Right, so it's just an illegal entry case. Okay, is he reporting at all? No. Absconder.
Divorce.
Right, okay then. Okay. Lovely, thank you. Thanks, Angela. Bye now.
It's been confirmed. The man is in Britain illegally. Since 1997, he has been missing and listed as an absconder.
This form is a notice of potential liability because your partner here is working here and shouldn't be. Well, we found him in the kitchen. He says he's been here 6 months. Whether he's a childminder, whether he's working in the kitchen, makes little difference. He's not allowed to work. He's got no permission. This will go off to our office in Manchester, and they will write to you then. But you stand to be fined potentially up to £10,000 for him being here.
Sorry, sir. I have to explain to you.
Yeah, this is just a notification of potential liability. The Manchester office will write to you now, and then anything you want to try and explain, you can put to Manchester. Okay? Just sign in there for me, please. And I'll give you a copy, and I'll keep a copy then, okay? Thanks.
The man caught working in the kitchen was put on bail and is reporting every week to his local police station, whilst UK border agency get the documents they need to remove him from Britain. The owner is fined £5,000, but she is adamant she did not employ an illegal worker.
I don't know what happened right now. He just come down to cook some food for himself. This is kitchen for business, still for our life, you know. So I don't think so. I got to employ him. Nothing. So I think I don't need to pay the fine.
Coming up, the Canadian woman with unusual holiday plans.
What will you do whilst you're in the UK?
We're gonna go fishing apparently. And then we're gonna do heroin, cocaine.
At Terminal 3, Officer Lisa Lee has stopped a Canadian woman who has come to the UK for 2 weeks to visit a British man she met on the internet.
The reason we've got concerns is that she's told us that the gentleman she's coming to see has paid for her ticket. They've never met. She's only got $10 in cash. No real idea what she wants to do in the UK. And she is on quite a lot of medication for various medical complaints that she claims to have. So I need to get that checked out before I can decide whether or not she's allowed to have any. Lexi, can you come over? I understand from my colleague you're taking certain tablets at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I please have them? I need to show them to our doctor.
Stage 4 malignant melanoma.
Okay. So you're on tablets for that?
Yeah.
Okay. What else are you taking?
I take 4 10 milligram Valiums a day.
Okay. Do you need anything at the moment? Any of your tablets at the moment?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
If it's all right with you, I'll take the medication to the doctor here. Yeah. So you rattle when you walk then, yeah? The amount you have to take. All right.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
I think it's really wrong that your airport detains people who are mostly colored and people who look different.
Listen, let me tell you something. Okay, we don't treat...
No, you're not listening to me first. Let me
Okay,
explain.
all right.
So let me explain to you, that's wrong.
Okay, let me
And
explain
that's
to you why that
ignorant.
might be the case and why you might see it like that, okay? The reason being that any of these people are here is because we have an immigration issue with them. It doesn't matter what colour they are, what gender they are, we don't care. We're interested in their immigration status and that's it. All right, let me do this. I'll be as quick as I can, okay? And then I'll come back and speak to you and we'll try and get this done as quickly as we can, all right? I've just been in to see our port doctor just to get the lady's medication checked out. There's no specific medication in what we have that's given to cancer patients specifically for melanoma. And the doctor said that it's a terminal illness, but that there's no prognosis in terms of length of life. It could be a year, it could be 5. He said, you know, provided she's okay, then she's fit to be detained, no problem. and we'll just crack on with it as we would any other person.
The first job is to contact the man she met on the internet. He's downstairs waiting to meet her. Can he explain how she will get by in London for 2 weeks on just $10?
How long have you known each other, sir? That you met online. He has paid for her ticket. He runs his own business. He said, I'm pretty well off. She's just come in to spend time with me. We're going to go around London. We're going to do lots of partying. That's what I like to do. So we need to speak to her really now and get her side of the story. Why have you come to the UK?
Because I got a divorce with my husband. In Canada, it's legal to get married to transgenders. The whole time I'd been talking to Mike, but we were just friends. As soon as he heard I was divorced, he just said, come to London. He said, London's a really great place and you'll be happy.
And what will you do whilst you're in the UK?
We're gonna go fishing apparently. And then we're gonna do heroin, cocaine, no, just joking. Do the touristy thing. Try to see the Queen and hit her with a car aerial.
Why?
Because that'd be something to say that you did. And I'm gonna open a brothel.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, a small one.
Small one? How many people are you going to employ?
I don't know, I was thinking maybe you should come work.
I don't think I'd earn you much money.
Trust me.
I'm flattered, but you know.
I'll doll you up.
One of my concerns is your health, okay? Do you have like healthcare, travel insurance for whilst you're here?
Like my cancer and stuff like that?
Mm.
You don't have to worry about me.
But you told me it was stage 4, that's quite serious,
Yeah.
right?
Stage 4, yeah. But they cut most of it out of my back, and they cut out like a really good tattoo too, look.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see. Alright. Right, there you go. I'll come back when I've spoken to my chief, okay?
Okay, thank you.
So they
Alright.
need the gloves, no problem.
No. But this is your boss, right?
She's my big boss.
Yeah. We were talking in the office, and she told me that I need to do a prostate exam on me.
I didn't.
Don't
help me.
My God. Well, that was the most interesting interview I've ever done. That's quite amusing. I'm sure she was just trying to distract me from asking all the questions because she was quite a character. Everything she says in terms of her reasons for visiting, I mean, you know, who am I to say that somebody shouldn't come and visit their internet friend? You know, it's more and more common these days. Let's go and see what my chief says. He's going to love me.
Before making a final decision, Officer Lee must run it past her chief.
Overall, I mean, if you're satisfied that she meets the immigration...
I'm pretty certain she does, and I do believe, I mean, she said, I want to go home. I believe she has the intention to return.
So on balance, you're happy to...
On balance, I think we'll land. I'll go and let her know, because I told her that I'd let her know as soon as I knew, so that she could be prepared. Okay, there's good news.
And bad news?
No, just good news. You're going to be granted entry. We're going to give you a stamp on your passport for a couple of weeks to come and visit Mike.
Yeah.
Come on then, my dear.
I hate the UK. But she was very nice. She was fun.
At last, Officer Lee can let her passenger cross the border to meet her internet friend for the first time.
At the end of the day, we have to be satisfied with certain things. One of them is that she's going to have somebody look after her, or that she can look after herself while she's here for money, somewhere to live. That was all fine. That she's going to leave the UK. I'm happy. It was a good job. Good decision. Let's hope she has fun. I expect she will. Watch out for her.
25,000 men and women work for the UK border agency. At home and abroad, their job is to seek out the lawbreakers and imposters who don't have a right to be here. They are the UK Border Force. On tonight's show, searching the valleys of Wales for immigration offenders.
We've got a warrant to enter the premises. Do you want to come out, please?
The family business, where everyone seems to be illegal.
His husband.
They're husband and wife, are they?
How did she enter the UK? Gangmaster.
And freak weather brings a passenger who creates a storm.
I want you to be on your best behaviour.
It's 11 p.m. in Swansea, and the Wales enforcement team are preparing a surprise raid on a Chinese takeaway. Immigration officers Heary and Williams will lead the questioning of any suspected illegal immigrants found working here.
Hello, immigration.
Officers immediately find 3 Chinese nationals in the kitchen.
One child upstairs asleep, yeah? Okay, we're going to go up
It is
and have a look,
reported
okay?
that the UK is the #1 destination in Europe for asylum seekers from China.
Your child is in here? Just the child, or?
Child and one lady.
Hello, immigration. Do you speak English? No? Do you have passport?
A 4th person is found in a bedroom.
What does she need?
Officer Williams takes over.
Tell her not to worry. Does she want to sit down for a minute? You sit down. I need something for this lady, some identification, some papers or her passport or something. She doesn't have anything, okay. Is this your baby?
Yeah, my baby.
Okay, is she okay there sleeping? Okay. If we go downstairs, we'll talk away from the baby, okay? So if you ask the lady if she'll come down with us downstairs.
She goes.
4 people and a baby have been found at the takeaway. Home Office records show this woman is a failed asylum seeker from China who came to Britain in 2004. She disappeared when her application to stay was refused. Now she's pregnant, has a child, and runs a business that is suspected of employing other illegal immigrants. One of the men found in the kitchen admits he entered the UK illegally.
Since he came in 2000, has he made any applications to the Home Office?
No, he's scared.
Did he provide any documents to the lady to say that he had permission to work in this country?
他说你来打工的时候有没有给老板看，就是你有。He's her husband.
They're husband and wife, are they?
Yeah. 是吧？
Yeah.
I believe it's husband and wife. These two.
Yes. Can you establish who the boss is?
Since he's married to the owner and they have a child together, this case becomes a little more complicated.
There is the matter now that he's got a child in the UK as well. But that, doesn't take away the fact that he has come into the country illegally.
The UK Border Agency try to avoid splitting up families, so it's unlikely that he'll be arrested tonight. Questioning now moves on to another man. He's told Officer Heary that he's 18 and works in the kitchen.
How long has he worked here?
你在这上班多久了
1个月。
1 month.
没有啊。
没有钱哈 ，don't get paid.
Doesn't get paid.
没有，但是我是他表弟了。
This is her cousin.
Cousin.
Yeah.
How did he actually come into the country?
那你来的时候是怎么来的？坐飞机、坐船还是怎么着？I didn't know somebody. Basically brought him in. He came with somebody.
He was brought in,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Does he want to go back to China?
他问你想不想回到中国去呢 ？No.
He says that he was brought in by an agent Probably somebody is paid several £1,000s to bring him in. He says he flew into the country, into the airport, travelled with the agent and walked through immigration control. Can you explain to the gentleman then, I'm now going to arrest him on suspicion of illegal entry, okay? If you can just explain that to him.
不是，你就待在警察局了，他们明天会到警察局来见你，跟你谈话。
You go upstairs with him now, yeah?
你现在就跟他一块去吧。
Officers search for proof of identity and find a copy of a national insurance card.
Is that his bag there?
住在这边的，有的东西也有钱住在这边的。
Okay, so some of the stuff here is belongs to a private person.
The documents are not his. The team often find ID from other people as many work for short periods before moving on.
Once they're detected, they either get removed or placed in detention, and then what you'll find is this place will then be reoccupied by somebody else doing exactly the same thing.
So far, a failed asylum seeker from China has been found employing her partner and cousin. But there's still the matter of the woman found upstairs.
It's okay. Tell her not to worry. Tell her don't worry.
The officers will have to find out who she is and why she's here. Coming up, an exotic seizure for the customs team.
So you've got grasshoppers. Fun and games.
And delays at Heathrow, as a case proves too difficult to decide.
What do you think?
And that's to be quite honest, I don't know.
Britain's heaviest snowfall in 18 years has brought most of the country to a standstill.
Many of the country's airports bore the brunt of the disruption.
Both runways were closed at Heathrow, but BAA has now managed to open the southern runway with limited flights.
Heathrow has one runway open, and a passenger destined for Dublin has been forced to land here. He's a man from Antigua who had planned to come to London anyway, but his luck has just run out. He was stopped by immigration after his name was flagged up on the Home Office database.
Well, his flight's been moved because of the snow. To here, he's like diverted, I'm afraid. So he's kind of blundered into us, I'm afraid. Problem with him is, he's previous overstayer, served with the form 151A as an illegal in 2007. He's coming here to visit his girlfriend. He's quite chipper. He seems, fairly happy at the moment.
Handling this case is Immigration Officer Alison Charles.
Mr. Michael.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
And you are?
My name is Miss Charles.
Hi, Michelle.
Mrs. Charles.
Mrs. Charles. Hi, Mrs. Charles. I'm Stuart. Now, Miss Charles. Gentlemen, I'm taking my bag. Yeah, that's fine?
They do know.
Okay. Now, Miss Charles, I got a question for you.
Okay, that's right.
What work
If the man has overstayed before, Officer Charles has to decide if he's likely to do so again.
Antigua.
Okay.
And the next thing you knew, she was off with my passport and saying that she was detaining me.
He's a character, all right?
I have never overstayed.
Okay.
Never got into any problem. So you got to understand when I'm having a laugh and having
a joke. But you're really serious to find out why you've been stopped.
Yeah. Relevant.
Officer Charles has to try and work out who is right, the Home Office computer or the Antiguan.
To be precise.
She starts with a phone call to his girlfriend.
When was the last time he was in the UK? Yeah. Was that April 2007? Can you remember when he arrived? So that's well over 6 months, isn't it? I didn't buy. In July 2006, he arrived in the UK. He requested for an extension after 6 months. This was refused. Now, he should have left, but he didn't. He left in... When did he leave? April 2007. So he was here a lot longer than 6 months.
Although he denies it, records show he stayed 2 months longer than he was allowed. Officer Charles wants to find out what happened the last time he was here.
Thank you. I give this address.
Now I'm going to need to ask you when the last time you was in the UK, okay, and what happened?
I came over here on a ticket.
For 6 months?
For 6 months. Because I have paid £400 to the Home Office to extend my time.
Okay, so
I filled out the form just with the questions like how they asked it. I didn't do anything wrong. They sent my passport back after they took the money, and they said give them a reason as to why they must give me 6 months.
And they refused?
And they refused. Okay.
After you were refused, what did you do?
I caught a flight and went home.
Thank you. And when you go back in the holding room, I want you to be on your best behaviour.
I'm going home.
I'm not sure what you're doing. 5 minutes. Give me 5-10 minutes, okay? Calm down, okay? Okay.
Although he broke the rules on his last trip, Officer Charles believes he won't do it again.
I do believe that he will go back. If he didn't overstay, that would be the only thing at the moment that's against him. But I'm going to have to refer the case to the Chief Immigration Officer and see what he's got to say. Mr. Dyson? He wants 2 months.
2 months.
Until the end of March to visit his girlfriend. And I'm happy to land him, actually.
Okay. He's got issues to overcome, which are the fact that he was previously an overstayer. He previously had an intention to stay longer than he'd said on arrival.
Yeah.
And now he's here again on arrival, on a visit. So he has to show us that, unlike last time, he isn't going to stay again.
The chief isn't content with the Antiguan's form as an overstayer. And there's something else he wants to know. The Antiguan's planned route into London was via Dublin. Was this a ruse to avoid scrutiny from the immigration team? The Antiguan will have to face more questions before a decision is made. At a Chinese takeaway in Wales, the enforcement team has discovered a failed asylum seeker from China, employing her partner and her cousin. None are entitled to work in Britain. Officer Williams now wants to unravel the mystery of the woman found upstairs.
Does she work here in the UK then in the restaurant?
Look after the child.
She looks after the children, so she child minds.
Yeah.
Who is her boss?
那是那个谁雇佣你呢？就是他哈。Yeah, this lady.
Okay. How much do you get paid for looking after the child?
那工资是多少呢？100 pounds a week.
How did she enter the UK?
问你是怎么来的？
Sorry, we'll check on that now.
Come with gangmaster.
A gangmaster.
She said she paid a lot of money to the gangmaster to help her come here.
Okay, how much did she pay?
她说你付了多少钱呢？30万哈，300,000 yuan.
300,000 yen.
Yeah.
Okay.
She says she was smuggled into Britain by Chinese gang masters. It cost her £25,000.
A gang master is somebody who's really trafficked people in here to the UK. She could be the victim of abuse, she could be exploited, you know, so we need to find that out now. Can you ask her, is there any reason why she can't go home to China?
她说问你有什么原因，就是说你不能回到中国去吗？
因为我上次来欠人家很多钱。
So she borrowed the money from people.
Okay.
And now if she would go back at this moment, she wouldn't have any money to pay of the debt.
Okay.
Then she.
So she's in debt.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
As the team decides what to do, the childminder's health takes a turn for the worse.
Yeah.
She has a heart problem.
Yeah, heart problem.
Okay.
Tell her don't worry, she's not in any trouble. She's worried because she hasn't seen anybody like us before, so she's certainly very worried about what's going to happen next. If she'd like to come upstairs, she can get her medicine.
Go ahead.
This is her medication she's given to me.
That's the medicine for her heart problem.
But at the moment I can't allow her to take anything, okay?
The childminder is in breach of immigration law, but concerns for her health come before any arrest.
This lady's potentially ill. She says she hasn't been seen by a GP and we don't want to take her in the car, and she may have a heart attack or something, you know. We don't want to put her at risk at all. But we have to maintain the UK laws as well. Based on what she told me downstairs, that she came into the UK with no passport, then that means that she entered the UK illegally. So I'm now going to arrest her on suspicion of illegal entry into the UK. Okay.
他说那么也是一样的，他也得就是说拘留你。
Tell her she doesn't have to say anything, but it may harm her defence if she does not mention when questioned something she later relies on in court. Anything she does say may be given in evidence.
他就是说你也是就是说可以保持沉默的。
Okay, now sit down. You sit down a moment.
She said that she's going to get her clothes.
Okay. No, if you tell her to sit down, and we're not going anywhere for a moment. My colleague and I will have a look in the room to see if we can find any identification documents for her. Okay.
那你刚才是说那个你的包在那里是吗？
She's moved around a bit. There's some documents for London and for Bristol here. Your children?
Yeah, her daughter.
And 2 children there.
A decision is taken to arrest the childminder. Her employers are not detained because the woman is pregnant and families with young children cannot be taken into police custody.
Okay. Does she need a glass of water or
你要不
something?
要喝点水啊之类的？
No. Okay.
The childminder is taken to a local police station for further questioning, along with the cousin of the owner who was found working in the kitchen.
Watch your head.
Although she's escaped arrest tonight, the owner could still face a fine of up to £40,000, £10,000 for every illegal worker. She is now in the process of reapplying to stay in Britain with her partner and their child. A decision is yet to be made on their case. In a later interview, the kitchen worker admitted to being 17. He was brought into the country by a female agent with fake documents. He's been bailed and is now reporting to the police regularly while steps are taken to remove him back to China. At the police station, the childminder complained of a heart problem. She was bailed for a week. She didn't return. Her employers said she had gone to London to claim asylum. No claim has yet been made. Passengers that arrive at Heathrow have their details checked by 2 border agency guards, immigration and customs.
5 to 9 now.
Passengers from countries outside the EU have an extra check from a specialist customs team.
Anything in here you shouldn't have? This is cooked beef. Can you see this? That doesn't look too, that looks like a mould on there. That doesn't look too good to me. You know, and to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't eat it.
These officers search for any products that have come from an animal.
Yeah.
Is it snails?
7.5 kilos of horse meat from Kazakhstan. We do get horse meat from time to time, but it's not an everyday occurrence.
The iron and back, just small cubes.
And the 2
And the what?
The products of animal origin sees over 30 tonnes of food products banned from being brought into Britain every year.
And you say you live in Tanzania? Where's your bag?
The officers can give repeat offenders a hefty fine and even imprisonment. The most common animal products confiscated
cheese
are
inside?
cheese and meat.
No. This here, what sort of meat is it?
The reason we were established is because of the foot and mouth disease, to stop anything like that happening in the future. So sometimes when food comes in, we're not sure whether the standard is the same standard required to import stuff, so it's safer not to bring it in.
Since they were established in 2003, the customs team has seen it all.
One of the other teams had a monkey.
Dried monkey.
A dried monkey being brought in.
Yeah. And we do get things like rats on sticks as well. We've had those.
This was found for one of our Chinese flights. This is bear's genitalia that has been found. Apparently it does have the aphrodisiac properties. Under it being a meat product as such, it's not allowed, so that has been taken. This is a chameleon. It absolutely reeks.
Caterpillars are a favourite. And we have bird spit, bird's nest, which is bird spit. That's not allowed.
You never know what you're going to come across.
Yeah.
In a bag, you'll always find something different, probably every day.
As the green channel fills with new arrivals, Officer Harris spots a passenger with some suspicious pink bags. When she catches up with him, a passenger from Uganda confirms he's carrying a local delicacy, grasshoppers.
So you've got grasshoppers. Anything else? You say your grasshoppers are cooked?
Yeah.
They are fried. They're already fried. Just keep them ready.
Oh, here we go. Here we go, look. All over the place. Ah. Fun and games. Right, I need to put all those little grasshoppers back in there or whatever. They're quite a delicacy, I believe. Is that right, sir?
Yeah, they are.
They are a delicacy, yeah. The grasshoppers have got to go because they're not allowed. Not much grasshoppers. 380 grams, not a lot. But you only need a very small amount to bring in disease.
It's his first offence.
There you go. Cheers.
So the man from Uganda is given a warning. Not all passengers are so easily separated from their animal products. Officer Trowbridge has stopped a passenger from Turkey.
I am a very clean person.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm not coming from the village.
Right.
I'm coming from Istanbul and I have university graduated.
What's in here? The blood in it?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's ground beef.
Unfortunately, just the meat and the cheese you can't bring in, okay? And this is just basically mince. That's probably the worst of the worst. Raw meat. That is totally forbidden. Is your first name Aisha? Anna? Don't cry, don't worry about.
I have a son.
Yes.
Only one son, and he came to Brighton.
Right.
6-7 months ago. It was December.
Okay.
And after December, first time I'm gonna see him now. He's in Sussex.
Okay.
And he wants food from me. Homemade food from Turkey.
Right.
And I am a mother.
Right. Well, if you show your son this as well, he will know the rules. Okay. If you study here, you should know the rules.
The woman from Turkey leaves without her mints. It's her first offence, so she's given a warning.
Nigeria today.
If the woman is stopped again and found to have broken the rules, she could be fined. Serious repeat offenders face a jail sentence. Coming up, the passenger from America who just won't give up.
It's kind of the last visit to London.
So this is it, tell her, okay, no more.
The manager who knows the game is up.
There is he had a work permit to work. Is expired.
Yeah. And the man from Antigua loses his cool, graciously.
I've done everything and been nice about this, but this is like being too much now. I'm sorry, I can't help for this.
Still held at immigration control is the man from Antigua. Chief Dyson isn't impressed with his record as an overstayer, wants to know more about his route into London via Dublin.
Okay, what's going to happen is I have referred your case.
I see this, I come here on vacation and I'm being,
victimised?
Anything you want to use, any word you want to use.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
But
we're
the
not
Antiguan still
victimising you.
denies he overstayed last time,
Interrogation.
despite Home Office evidence saying otherwise.
Okay.
I come here very often, I leave on time, I never overstay.
But stop.
No, I never.
Stop now. You have overstayed.
No, I haven't. Not when I paid.
1 second.
I paid
1 second.
the Home
No.
Office.
You have.
They're the one that held on to my
hold
passport.
on. The thing about it is, you have overstayed.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
Where?
When you came in 2006, you overstayed.
How? I didn't do nothing wrong. All I did was paid my money just like you all asked me to do and asked us to stay for an extension time. And that was legally. I didn't try to overstay. Sorry, ma'am. I've done everything and been nice about this, but this is like being too much now. I'm sorry. I can't help for this.
Right. I just need you to tell me about your routine. That's got everybody baffled. Why would you fly to Dublin?
Was the
What's the
cheapest
point
way
of doing
at the
all of
time,
that?
my darling.
How is that cheaper than going from?
It came up cheap. It came up.
That's just
cheap.
Do you understand that you wouldn't have seen an immigration officer at Gatwick if you had gone in that method?
No.
What do you mean no?
I don't know about that. I'm sorry.
No. He seems genuine enough, not knowing about the routine and passing through immigration and that. If he's lying, he's a good liar.
The man has convinced Officer Charles that his route to London via Dublin was merely a cheap ticket and nothing else.
He was quite adamant.
The case is now creating some doubt between Officer Charles and her boss.
Right, but that's not the issue for me. I'm afraid I think I'd like him refused.
How are you?
What do you think?
And that's to be quite honest, I don't know. I'm for what Matt is saying, and I can understand where he's coming from. But it just doesn't sit well with me at the moment. It doesn't. I mean, he's given me the reasons why, and I can understand his reasons why. It doesn't mean I have to be happy about it. But I can't be sort of like 100% sure that I'm making the right decision.
Chief Dyson wants to see the man for himself. He will tell the Antiguan that he's being refused entry. At least, that's his plan.
To be honest, it's not looking that good. I need to be straight with you.
Yes.
You're going to be refused entry, okay? Now what I'm here to do is explain how you can come back in the future without having these issues and these problems. Because obviously if you've got a girlfriend here, you want to visit her, you don't want this happening, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay.
So I'm not going to see my girlfriend today?
No, well, let me finish.
What am I doing wrong? Or what can I do to make it better? I don't like this sort of
Okay. How would you gauge your relationship? Would you say your relationship is the type that is leading to something a little more serious?
Yes, it is leading to something
right.
more serious.
I mean, are we talking, the M word here? Perhaps, at some point?
Yes.
Okay. So if it is the stage where you think it's time that you are moving in on a step, there's a fiance's entry clearance, which allows you to come here, get married, apply to remain. I'm going to give you this couple of days temporary admission, okay? I'm quite comfortable with that.
Okay, thank you. To be honest with you, it's okay. I know I haven't done anything wrong, so I'm not panicking.
Mr. Michael, I think I have no issue with you as a person. And to give you credit, having spoken to you, I have again looked at the decision in my head. I can't change it, but I am aware of a few more factors, okay? And I hope to see you again. Okay? Much as he's a lovely man, I still think his circumstances outweigh his charm, because he's definitely a charming man.
No, they're not. Apparently, speaking to Heathrow in Podium.
and I am prepared to give him temporary admission.
The chief has given him 2 days temporary admission to see his girlfriend, after which he must return home.
No, thank you.
At least forgive me at least a couple of days. It's better than sitting in there.
No, that's no issue. No.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Two days later, he came back, armed with more paperwork, stating business reasons to keep to his original return date.
Right now, we're just short of that right now.
A lot of the things he'd supplied did go quite some way to filling in the gaps that we had. So on balance of probabilities, I decided that now I was willing to overturn my own decision and allow him entry. He was landed.
It was 400 quid from right
Anyone
here.
visiting the UK with a record as an overstayer faces an uphill battle proving their credibility.
Taking it in from...
But this man's perseverance paid off, and he was granted entry to the UK for his full holiday.
Good luck, okay?
Alrighty.
Deep in the Welsh valleys, illegal immigrants live in small rural communities where many believe it is more difficult to be found. Officer Fulston is part of the enforcement team that searches the valleys for immigration offenders.
If immigration sort of have a blitz on these particular city centres, then that tends to push people into, if you like, more rural areas, and I think they tend to believe sometimes if they're out of sight, then they're out of mind. But if we get in, then they will come to our attention at some point.
Today the team will visit an Indian takeaway where they've been given a tip-off about one of its workers.
So he's a Pakistan male, so the last trace we've got is expired in September 07. Okay, so subject is suspected of being an overstayer.
The man they are looking for is from Pakistan. He was given a permit to work for 1 year, over 2 years ago. They believe he's still here
Good evening.
and still working.
Paris for immigration, show it to the front, please. Sorry? So we've got a warrant to enter the premises. Do you want to come out, please? Stop what you're doing and just move to the front. That's all clear.
Officer Fulston begins to question one of the men found in the kitchen.
Do you have any identification on you? Thank you.
The man produces a driving license and is fingerprinted. It's the man from Pakistan they came here to find.
We've had intelligence to suggest an individual with the same details as this gentleman was working and residing at this premises, and this individual is the target that we were looking for this evening.
Now Officer Fulston needs to find out if he's working here.
Could you ask him, please, how long has he been working at this restaurant? So he's saying he's not working here then, no? Okay. Anybody see him working when we came in?
He denies working.
Okay.
Perhaps the owner can help.
Let's just get a few details. The other gentleman, he's working for you also?
Yeah, he's on a work permit.
You have a copy of that somewhere?
He must have somewhere.
Where does he live?
He live upstairs.
Okay, do you know his name?
Yeah,
Go on, share it with me. Tell me the secret.
Rashid Ali. Secret is.
Yes,
right,
go on, tell me.
There is he had a work permit to work.
Yes, I'm
Right.
listening. But
And,
there's a but coming.
Yeah, is expired
When did it expire, his work permit?
last year, I think.
So why is he still here, Mr. Ali?
He's just working, and
Does he have a
we can't get
passport?
no other- Sorry, yeah. Sorry.
Does he have a passport also?
Yeah, he got a passport.
It's upstairs, is it?
I don't know.
The boss realises there's no point in lying
you've had this
and admits
premises
his worker
since-
is illegal.
19.
But he could face a fine of up to £10,000.
Yeah.
Hello there, could you just inform this gentleman that on the basis of the information available to me at the moment, I believe him to be an overstayer in the United Kingdom, and therefore he is under arrest on suspicion of being an overstayer. Okay?
Just to explain, this person's only going with us to the police station.
Did you understand that? Up we go then.
The next step is to find his passport.
Passport definitely not you. Now that he's been arrested on suspicion of being an overstayer, that gives us the power to search for his accommodation as well. And basically, what we're looking for is passports.
If they find it, removing him from the country will be a lot easier. And just when the search looks hopeless, the helpful boss makes another confession.
Might be in my file in my house.
Where's your house?
In Pontypridd, about 20 minutes drive from here.
So you might have a copy of his passport there?
Should have, yeah.
We might need you to produce that for us then.
2 officers go to collect the passport, which is 20 miles away at the boss's house.
That's him? Okay, thanks very much. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. That's the gentleman that we arrested at the house. He's overstayed his visa. Needs to go home now. So now we've got the valid passport, we can book flight for him to go back to Pakistan.
The illegal worker is detained before being removed back to Pakistan at the end of the week. The Wales enforcement team got their man on this occasion. It's just one of the 150 takeaways they visit each year in the Welsh valleys. At Terminal 3, a woman from California has been stopped at passport control. She used to live in Britain as a student, but since then has been refused entry on 2 previous occasions. Her most recent refusal was a month ago when she arrived for a job but had no work permit.
Clearly she's been refused entry to the UK twice. Most people don't ever get refused entry to a country, so for that to have happened to her in the space of 5 months is quite a significant dent on her immigration history.
Immigration officer Lisa Lee starts with a search of her documents.
It appears she has letters from her hotels where she worked previously. CV here, there's a couple of copies, 4 copies on quite thick cards, so it's not just copies that have been done just to carry. It appears that these would be given out. There's a postcard here. This appears to be a friend, and it actually says the idea of leaving home now when so much is happening in the US of A must seem very hard. So are we talking the recent presidential inauguration, or are we talking in her personal life? That we'll need to establish, but it appears to be everything that you would not expect anyone to bring on holiday with them. It casts into doubt somebody's intentions when they travel with CVs and everything else. Is it because there is some other intention in her coming back to the UK? That's only something we can find out after we speak to her. Would you like to follow me? Okay. So what's the purpose of your visit to the UK today?
To visit friends and finish packing up what I couldn't pack up in December.
Why have you brought CVs with you on holiday?
Those were just in there.
Okay, you were granted temporary admission when you were refused entry last time. How many days was that for?
I think it was 2 days or 3 days.
And was 3 days not sufficient time to conclude your affairs here?
To pack up my flat, no.
And the friend has mentioned that there's a lot going on in the USA at the moment. What does she mean by that?
My mom was in the hospital, and the day before she came home, my stepfather moved out.
Could you not have deferred the trip?
I could have, but she wanted me to go and see my friends in London, in the country, and tie up everything here.
Although she was refused entry last time, she did get 3 days to pick up leftover belongings from her time here as a student. But now she's back with the same reason as before,
It's perfectly plausible that she needs to come back and end her affairs here. However, that's why she was granted temporary admission last time. But we have to base it on probability here, and is she likely to become an immigration offender?
She's been refused entry twice before, but could it be third time lucky for the woman from California?
This is frustrating.
Stuck at immigration is an American woman who's here to collect items she left on a previous visit. But she was given the chance to pack up her things a month ago, and now she's back using the same story as last time. Officer Lee is worried that she's here for other reasons.
What are the chances that she'll overstay? What are the chances that she'll seek employment whilst she's here? So that's something I need to discuss with the chief now and see what we can come up with.
I can't say I'm that sympathetic. I mean, this is the third time that she's tried to basically come here, isn't it? And we can't see that she's made much of an effort to do anything, either by mail or by telephone or on the internet to sort it out. And she's turned up now.
I don't know if you're aware, she doesn't have a job in the States either. She hasn't applied for any permanent jobs in the States since being back from
So
in
no
December.
evidence, really, for the last year and a half that she sees her future as being in the United States.
Well, that's my concern. Let's go and talk to her again. You see, the difficulty I've got is that you were given time, albeit 3 days, to pack up your belongings and arrange for everything to be done last time, and now you're seeking entry again.
I did, for those 3 days, I did the most I could do in 3 days.
The primary purpose, you say, is in seeking entry as a visitor is to conclude your affairs in London.
That's 1 day, and I just happened to...
Okay, so it's only going to take 1 day to pack up?
I'm not sure. I don't remember everything I have at my flat, and it depends on my landlord when they can do the final walkthrough. But the main reason for me coming is to see friends that I know will never travel to the States. It's kind of the last visit to London, because I know once I start working full time, I won't travel.
I think it's just made things worse, really. She's now saying that were she not to have any belongings here, she would still have come just to see friends, as it's the last opportunity to travel before she gets a permanent job. So I don't think anything she's told me is going to make any difference, really. She says it's only going to take her 1 day to actually pack up the things that she has left, and the rest of the time she wants to come and see friends who she knows will never travel to the US.
Can you trust her to go out for 1 day? She can go back Saturday morning. Okay?
Right.
So that gives her one whole day. And this is last chance saloon, because we've done this before, so this is it.
Right.
Tell her, okay? No more.
Okay, there's some bad news and there's some good news. The bad news is you are being refused entry to the UK. We are granting you temporary admission again, as we did last time, because you complied before. We're prepared to give you till Saturday morning, so you get tomorrow to go to your flat.
Tomorrow I won't really have time to finish.
Let me just explain something to you. The fact we're giving you temporary admission this time is extremely... You're very lucky to be granted that, all right?
The woman is given 1 day to collect her things, after which she must return to America. For the third time, the American woman has the word refused stamped into her passport.
This is frustrating. Because you do everything above the board, and I know at school there were tons of people who didn't do things above the board, and they're still here.